What is up, people? No music at all. We're not playing nothing because this is the pre-show yet again. So I'm gonna go ahead and say what's up, and I'm actually gonna leave the camera on my boy over here, Alan. How you doing, buddy?
What's up? What's up? If I could do a British accent, I would pretend to do one.
Oh yeah. If you were trying, I didn't hear a single fucking difference in your voice at all. But yeah, people know we're over here just waiting for Gandhi. Yeah, I don't know if he's taking a dump or eating something. He's still doing that Ragnarok thing.
At the same time.
Exactly. I would. Man, honestly, that's a great place to eat your food when you're just in there just doing your business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No? It's not good?
No.
No, not at all. I'm looking over here in the chat. Everyone's in here talking up a storm, talking about E3 and everything like that. We're going to be talking about that all night tonight. Hopefully we won't take too long because Double Toast
Cedric, I will kick your ass in Smash Ultimate. It's on my birthday. That game's coming out. I will play the fuck out of it, and I will beat the shit out of you. I don't care if there's 66 fucking players in there. Samus will beat every single one of them.
But wait, who said? Wait, who?
Okay, so I guess this is a pre because we're gonna be talking about a lot of stuff, and they announced a new Smash, and it's called Smash Ultimate. And what it is every single character that has ever been in a Smash Bros. Game is in there.
Hopefully we won't take too long.
That's a roster of like six. I was like, that's a roster of 50 plus people. Apparently, it's a roster of 66 people. So it's like
Why
every
so
person,
many?
every character that's ever in Smash. Because when they do a Smash game, when they did the original Smash, it was very similar to Mortal Kombat in its roster. It was only 8 characters. The default. So Link, Donkey Kong, Kirby, Luigi, Mario, Ness, Fox, and Samus. So that was just the base 8. But then when they did Melee, they upped it to like 30. Added so many people for so many different stuff. And then when they did Brawl, they kind of took some people away that didn't really work. And they added some new people. That's where you got Sonic and all that stuff. And with 4, that's where they got Mega Man. They even took some people out of that, and they had that's when they had Mega Man, and that's when they had all the DLC characters. So for Smash, the new one, we're like, what are they going to do? Are they going to add new people in? Are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? And then they basically just started announcing people, and we're like, oh shit, Solid Snake's back. That's so cool. Wow, they got Pichu back? That's a fucking bottom of the barrel pick. How are you selling the game on that? And then they go, everyone's here. No, we mean everyone. And then they go, everyone that's ever been in a Smash game, from the Ice Climbers to fucking Pichu.
Yeah, but then, like, at this point though, if they're gonna be doing that, then like, is this gonna be like their Mortal Kombat Armageddon, where basically all the characters are there, and then you just kind of like reboot after this, or?
It's weird. I almost want them to do that. I wish they would do story modes because I think story modes would be great for this. But their version of story mode is just like, hey, pick a character and just fight a bunch of whatevers. The only time they ever had a story was in Brawl, and it was basically what you're talking about. It was almost like the Armageddon. It's like, hey, here are all these characters. Here are all these characters kind of interact. And it was a pretty interesting story where the villains are capturing the good guys by converting them into trophies and stuff like that. And it was a cool kind of story. But the guy saying that was such a difficult thing to do with all these IPs that he never wants to do it again.
Yeah, and
so
I
doubt we're gonna get
something
something
crazy
crazy
about it or anything, because it's one of the situations where, because it's a fighting game, I would imagine they'll be able to not have a story and still reboot after this. Like, if they did restart a new version and made it more like All Stars Battle Royale or something like that, maybe they could say something like, hey, we gave you like the best of the best like in our last game with every single character being there, and we're gonna start off and get a whole new cast of characters and maybe a couple of the old ones, for DLC or something like that. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully, even do a deal with Disney and have like those the Kingdom Hearts type characters versus Nintendo.
Yeah,
like,
that'd be
really
kind of cool. But they do have rules about like who can be in a video game. They have like who can be in Smash because they don't want to deal with a lot of different rights. So they want it just to be video games because video game rights are different than movie and animation rights. So when they make the DLC where they said anybody could be there, they specified they had to start in a video game. So that's why they wanted Goku in Smash, but he said like that's never gonna happen because Goku started as a manga or an anime. But what I'm really excited is, all these characters, because there's some of the characters where I'm like, why'd they never bring him back? Wolf was a great addition to he was a Star Fox character, and he was great. He was very similar to Fox, but he wasn't a clone. So I'm just glad they're bringing all these people back. And Trey confirmed to me the other day the voice actor for Solid Snake in this game is going to be David Hayter.
Oh, that's amazing. That's actually badass.
Yeah, because he was in 3 the last time we saw him, and they didn't have him in 4, and everyone was like, where the hell is Snake? Now he's in here. Yeah. And Jet's wrong. Wolf is great. You can go to hell. He's always wrong.
Yeah, but like speaking of the chat and everything too, like now I lost a couple things I was gonna read. But yeah, Red Robot King saying 50 games don't mean shit. I don't know what that's referring to. Maybe we can explain that later on. Justin Albert saying what happened to Skate 4. Man, was anybody really excited for Skate 4, dude? That's one of those...
Skate is one of those things where when Tony Hawk did their entire thing, that was the biggest one. And what EA tried to do is they tried to do their own Tony Hawk called Skate, and they were one of those sleeper hits. they were popular for they're very popular, but for a niche, a niche game. And I actually enjoyed it. I remember the demo for 3. Me and my friends played it for like 12 hours. Like we just kept playing because it was basically just like, here's a mini little skate park and just keep playing. And we had so much. We didn't know what we were doing, but it was a really fun game, and it just did a lot of cool mechanics. It focused a lot on the skating. You could run around. It's like it was almost like an open world kind of skating game, and those were a lot of fun. And they just never made a Skate 4. So we're like, hey, Skate 4, Skate 4. But then we see Session, and we're like, oh, Session. It looks like it could be the next Skate 4.
Red Bakine saying no new original IP from Microsoft. That's a meh. The thing is, he was referring to Microsoft being as the worst press conference.
It's not the worst press conference. Like Ruthless is saying that Devolver had the best one, and I didn't see it. I don't have an opinion. And they usually go above and beyond, do crazy like Rockstar spectacle shit. And yeah, they probably had the most interesting one, 100%. But Microsoft did not have the worst one. Okay, when I said what I said, and we'll discuss this more on the show, but I'll describe it just because it's going to be the first thing we talk about. When I said on Facebook that Microsoft had the best press conference, not because they had the best exclusives, because they didn't. They had some of the worst exclusives. But the reason I say that they're the best is because the presentation was a lot of fun to sit through. The first half was a little slow, but when they started picking up, it was a lot of fun. Like almost a half an hour chunk of just straight games. A lot of them were interesting. They had a lot of cool announcements. They surprised the fuck out of me with a few titles. And I left it going, I really enjoyed myself. I sat through, there wasn't that much cringe, and it was a fun conference to watch through. Sony had the better exclusives, but Microsoft had the better conference.
Yeah, I like how Allie right here is just listening to us like, what the fuck are they
Right, I'm like, I'll just let y'all talk.
Yeah. No, I mean, were you not like interested in like watching any of these press conferences, even though the entire internet's been talking about Allie?
Well, I feel like I got all the important stuff from y'all, because you guys would be like freaking out over in the chat about things like, I got Spider-Man! Spider-Man!
Or me losing my fucking shit during the Bethesda one, man.
Exactly. So it's like, I got all the important stuff from them, so I didn't really need to watch it.
Yeah, man.
But, yeah.
I really liked certain announcements. I flipped a fucking I flipped out with Resident Evil 2. Like that's literally one of my most favorite moments of fucking E3 in a while. And then The Last of Us, man, I was like so mad because of that stupid fucking church scene, and we'll get into it later on, obviously. But people, their production, like PlayStation, I will admit that even though I thought PlayStation had probably one of the best conferences in a while, that production and the technological stuff was absolutely terrible, to the point where it was like ran like when we do a pre-show, and it's like the interview guy, they're doing this thing, intermission, whatever the fuck, and they're like, okay, the show's gonna start in, okay, another trailer.
Hey, I'll say this, like, I get what you mean, and maybe that bugged people. To me, I was like, okay, I get it. I've never seen this in a live presentation, but I'll take, hey guys, we're gonna kill some time while we move this, versus yeah, Prey good, yeah, Prey, buy it. Prey? Like, what the fuck was going on at Bethesda? They had Tweedledee and Tweedledum just standing there, killing time before the Rage presentation started. Like, man, that was the cringiest shit in the world.
And the Rage scene, apparently there was like some bad puns going on. I didn't watch that part on Bethesda.
Oh, that was so stupid.
Yeah, man. Hey, speaking of Rage, here's a guy who never rages. How you doing?
I rage, but it's usually because people are watching dumb products like E3.
Oh, man, that's unfortunate. By the way,
he's only mad because he watched the fucking PC gaming show and wasted his fucking time with it.
Yeah, I didn't actually watch the PC gaming show. I watched the other ones that were also equally a waste of time.
No, not really.
The thing is people, when you know that Ganja has way into hipster mode, is when he actually agrees with fucking Will. And it's funny, this morning I woke up.
I know.
Ganja, if you agree with Will, you might have to rethink some things.
Yeah, you might want to like get some rest.
That's like having an Nazi goes like, wait, that Nazi made you go, wait, what did I just say? Jesus Christ!
No,
you have to rethink your life.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day, man. Come on now.
No, because the thing is, I actually have to be straight up and just say like, yo, like I'm not a person who hates Will or anything. You know, it's not like the Sammy situation. But the thing is like, you know, sometimes Will puts me in situations where I just had to say, nah, he's fucking stupid. And that whole thing, man, when he put Will's popular opinion, or honest opinion. What's that?
Unpopular.
No, I think he changed it to honest opinion now.
So just Will's opinion.
No, it's gone to that point. I think he literally changed the name because no name has ever worked because he's fucking full of shit. So finally, he did this thing where he makes these little like illustrations for his episodes, which are pretty cool. Very, very talented dude. I like his comic book stuff. Whatever the fuck. Granted, I think he's too obsessed with it. But then when the way he did it, it was like something how ED 2018 why it sucked. But I saw the logo to Will's unpopular opinion or Will's honest opinion, and I thought it said Will's popular opinion sucks, like why it sucks or something. I was like, damn, Will, he's calling himself out now. But like,
he finally broke down.
Just rename it the Untitled Will Show.
Yeah, basically. No, but man, I looked at that shit though, and I read a little bit of it. And Ganja, later on, dude, you know I'm gonna have to ask you what the fuck you're talking about in the sense of why you agree with him, right? Like,
Well, I didn't actually read through. I just read the
Oh
highlights.
yeah, I knew it. I knew
motherfucker!
it. I knew. I was thinking in my head, yo, he didn't read that shit. He just saw that.
Of course
E3
I
sucks.
didn't.
He fucking
Why
runs
the
it.
fuck? I'm ashamed that y'all think I read that shit.
Well, I figured you decided to, get some fucking, what was it? Some credentials when you're talking
Alright,
shit.
first
You're
of
like,
all,
nah,
hold
this guy
on.
hates E3. I guess I agree with him. That
With
could have been a
any-
fucking troll
with-
article.
Hold on. With anybody else, I agree with the headline. But when we want to go talk about the substance of Will's article, he kind of likes trolling a lot. Like, he's one of those people that, like, I don't know if he's his honest opinion or he's just trying to go to the gut.
But
I
don't say you agree with him.
I agree with the headline. Everything else, that was some bullshit.
Fuck off. You're so fuck you, man. I'm fucking mad at you.
Yeah,
You're
I'm mad
fucking
too, man. I'm
worse.
over here. I'm so glad we had this discussion right now because I was gonna put Ganja on the spot. Like, so what do you agree with Will? And on the show, he's gonna be like, I didn't read that shit.
I didn't.
I wish you did call him out on the show.
Oh man. No,
Hey,
but
you
anyways,
have to be here for E3. And you're gone.
You act like I was gonna sit here and be like, yeah, man, I read, I break down the analytics, like point A, point B. No, I was on the top, I was like, yeah, you're right, but your reasons are probably bullshit. This is like when Nick passed my back. I'm not even gonna look into it.
You two having each other's back is a fragile fucking alliance.
hey, if I have his back, I'm about to stab that motherfucker. But anyways,
Uh-huh.
we're about to get the fuck out of here and start the show. So anyways,
like that, like that fucking ninja fucking presentation where the girl stabs him and shit.
yeah, exactly. I think
What the fuck's he talking about?
it's a Sony conference thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know what the name
There's
of that fucking
Samurai,
game.
you fucking idiot.
Yeah, I'm the you shit 2018. Anyways, put the shit over here, and people, it's time to get this shit on the show or on the road or whatever the fuck I'm supposed to say. Ganja, 3, 2, 1, boy, attack the goddamn chat! Booyah! We officially started. Ganja's wrong. He likes Will. He agrees with Will. That means
No, we're gonna destroy shit on this show, y'all. You're completely right.
Well,
Let's
we
throw this shit on.
started the show off by how we end the show, so this is gonna be great.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know. I want some kind of way to like make it very, very well known they're about to start. And I'm like, well, fuck it, attack the chat. We're attacking at the beginning, we're attacking at the end. As a matter of fact, there's more attacking that goes on in the pre-shows because we always fucking arguing. So I kind of like that aspect of it.
True.
Yeah, exactly.
More
I
freeform.
should edit these and just put the pre-show at the end. Just rename it the post-show. Ooh. Anyways,
What?
stupid. I don't know. But people, yes, the midweek chat tag. This is what we typically do. We usually do topics, things like that on Wednesdays. But tonight, I can't help it, man. E3 is all over the goddamn place. There is not one site I can go to for news that doesn't have just nothing but E3.
Oh, of course, it's the biggest thing to happen, like in media. That's why I love
involve
E3,
somebody
you know?
dying, or any
Yeah,
problems
true.
with
But
it.
yeah, it's the biggest press conference in the world. There are places that do video games and press conferences all over the place, of course. But E3 is the biggest one. It's the number one. So that's why it's gonna be fucking everywhere.
Yeah, and it's a shame too because there's some people out in the world, these weird, freaky fucking people who are not into it. Allie.
Hey.
Hey, I'm not into Comic-Con and I love Marvel movies, so it's like it happens. Just because you're into video games doesn't mean you like E3.
This comment's probably going to lead to absolutely nothing at all. But Allie, what do you do in these situations where the whole world's talking about E3, and what are you doing?
I'm just working and like
Being
breathing.
fucking normal. I guess. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like for me, I feel like the entertainment industry in general, like just movies, shows, everything just stopped for video games. It's like, I mean, don't you feel that way too, or maybe it's just me not paying attention to certain parts of stuff?
I agree because that happens with Comic-Con all the time. When Comic-Con happens, it's like even Trump advised like, "Yo, man, you can't announce anything. It's Comic-Con." Like,
Yeah.
those are the biggest things in the world because that's like that the E3 and Comic-Con, they showcase what's going to happen for the rest of the year and maybe the next 3 years. So
But
you
God-
have to stop.
I don't know, man, because you guys say that, but meanwhile, like I don't really follow a lot of video game people on my Facebook, YouTube stream. So like I would think that even though because I don't follow this because you guys say it's so big, so mainstream, I didn't even see it in the trending. Because I was looking for a lot of these presentations and whatnot, and I wasn't finding it pop up on my homepage like they've done it previously. Like this was the first, I think, E3 that I didn't see a lot of push for unless you really went and looked for it, like on Twitch or on the certain YouTube channels. Like it wasn't really getting pushed to the forefront like last year.
But
I
has
don't know about
anything really
that.
kind of caught your fancy or anything that you're actually interested? Has any of these things kind of like been popped up in news where you're still like excited to read new shit or whatever? Or
Well, it's not even like for my interest in certain video games and that. It's just the fact that I'm used to like, for example, last year E3 kind of took over YouTube. The minute you got onto the homepage, you had all the different presentations, you had different times, you had all the different YouTube channels to go to.
Gameplay videos and shit.
Yeah, exactly like that. And then you had different like YouTubers that were approved to actually give exclusive content. I didn't really see that much this year. It was all
that was still there. It was on the homepage of Twitch and the homepage of YouTube the whole time.
That's what I'm saying. When I was on the homepage of YouTube, I didn't really see that all that much. It was only when you scroll down to the actual E3 stuff, it wasn't a complete E3 takeover like yeah. It was mostly Twitch that was doing it this year.
You know, I'm actually really relieved to hear that because I mean, for me, everybody I talked to, and granted, it's probably because of the circle that I surround myself in, but everyone's just like E3 to the point where I'm like, holy shit! Like this culture is so into just overhyping shit that's popular right this second that the world just didn't exist anymore. It was like fuck the news about like, dude. It took me like a couple of days to find out Donald Trump fucking shook hands with a North Korean dude. Like,
oh no, that was still like that was still over on Facebook. Like, it's just not as that's a problem with just news in general. Like, hey, what's trendy and clickbaity? And it's like, yeah,
like you could do anything at this point. Like even the trailers. Apparently, the Nun trailer came out, and I mean, and it's like the newest thing from the not Cloverfield. Fuck, what's that shit called? Conjuring. Yeah, from the Conjuring.
Didn't that come out today though?
Yeah, it came out today. The Nun trailer.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, no, I get that because it's like, well, that's still within the ballhouse of like some of the biggest games to be announced. Like, no one's talking like at this point, no one's talking about anything but Spider-Man and some of the other bigger games because those games are going to be coming out soon. So people are excited as fuck for this shit.
Right.
Exactly. So yeah, but with that said, people, if you guys are excited about this shit too, we're gonna have you guys come onto the show if you would like to. And by the way, too, Trey did say E3 was #1 trending on YouTube. I did see that too, but I think what Ganja's trying to say is trending on his channel, like when you sign on
his YouTube.
Well, not only that, like well, that's not in GanjaTube because like when you you know how when you go to your homepage and it's like you get the feature stuff and all the shit you constantly look at and web browse and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get YouTube didn't really throw that shit at me like it did last year. And like Trey, you're right, E3 was trending, but there were certain times I would hit the trending button. Like for example, when when the Nintendo conferences happened, I hit the trending button and Nintendo wasn't there. It was some other bullshit and the stuff that was going on in Korea.
No, damn. Okay, well, man,
Korea's more popular than Nintendo. Confirmed.
Me being a person who really is into Google Analytical stuff and everything, like I'm actually curious to see what was up with the algorithm that made that happen for Ganja. Because if that's the case, I do feel like holy shit. I think these things just kind of cater to what we're into.
Yeah, it could
just
be that.
He looks up news all the time. It's probably honestly just his YouTube.
Yeah, so I don't know, man, but anyways, people, so like I said, if you guys want to come onto the show and talk about all this stuff with us and whatnot, let us know in the comment section on YouTube, and then maybe we can kind of touch base within Facebook in a private message or something. I would say go into the Double Toasted chat and message us on there, but at this point, I think everyone's going to be crying because Goodwin's going to be leaving tonight. And, yeah, I don't think...
When I see you again, oh,
I don't want to hear that song again.
Okay, shut up.
That is not as bad as the actual song.
Yeah. And I like how Allie tried to do good, like, in the middle of that, but, like, there ain't no one hearing that shit. We're like 3 injured geese. Like, just... That's
a good way to sum up Charlie.
Injured.
That's a good way to sum up Charlie Puth's career.
But anyways...
geese lying over just wailing with his friends.
No, but yeah, man. So I don't even know. I was gonna make another joke, but fuck it. I don't want to talk about any more injured geese, and I don't even know if that's the right word to say. Is it just goose? Do you just say a bunch of gooses?
Injured gooses.
So it's gooses.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I said geese. So geese is not a thing then.
No.
You know what? No, I'm not. Actually, I'm sorry, people. I know it's unprofessional. I'm gonna look this shit up because I'm not having this happen to me again. Plural.
So in the meanwhile, y'all, do y'all want to talk about what a group of ravens are? I've heard it's a murder, but I also think it's called a group.
Wait. Now I'm getting distracted. What the fuck you just say?
The same crazy shit as you got us doing right now by looking
really easy to fuck with you, Nick.
Damn,
really
fucking me up. Like I am so confused.
Can you please go back to that Google search? I want to know why there's a moose.
No.
Yeah, because the joke is that the plural of moose is beast.
Yeah, but
everything
there's
else.
a difference between goose and geese. Geese are waterfowl of the family. Man. I'm not gonna read this shit.
It's so much fun. I can't believe you fucking even for a second.
Oh man.
This has been the MCA education hour on aviation.
I don't know.
He means avian birds. Aviation
is
played, you fucking.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing my ass off too bad that we saw moose.
We sounded like 3 injured somethings. Okay, fuck. But here's the thing: I don't want you guys to sound like injured somethings, interrupting each other and whatnot too. And I want to hear some new coming injured somethings. So God damn it, Ganja, please help me.
Hold on. Go first. If y'all want to start coming all over the place, make sure to hit us
Oh,
up
God damn, I knew it.
in DM boxes, and we'll get y'all on the show. Remember, two, do not talk over each
Oh,
other,
fuck you.
or just make insults, because that just ruins audio quality and later viewing pleasures for people who want to watch us later. It's surprising, but they do it. Rule number 3, please no nudity. This is a staple of squeaky clean internet, and we are squeaky clean boys and girls, so keep your genitals to yourself and off the air. Rule number 4, do not give anyone else the link. We have a planned show, believe it or not, that includes certain topics, discussions, and sometimes overall conversations. So you hand out the link, your dumbass is gone, and so is the one that clicked it. Rule number 5, Alley Girl, please finish that for me.
Don't be a dick.
There you go.
Yeah, don't be squeaky clean.
I was like, did you want me to do the whole entire thing? Because
No,
I'm still trying not to laugh over what Nick said earlier.
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, dude. I'm so fucking tired. My fucking fingers messed up. I'm fucking got a headache and shit. I don't know what's going on with me, Ganja. Somebody help me.
No, I'm good. I got what I needed.
Oh man, you're my worst enemy right now over the shit you did to me on Ark, motherfucker.
Let it go. It's been a month.
No, but like
that was a day ago.
Yeah, that was a day ago.
Oh,
Damn.
you mean that other shit? I thought you still talking about the other. Yeah, I forgot.
Mr. Lightyears. Fucking Buzz Lightyear.
You can't even threaten me. Of course I was gonna retaliate. It's not my fault you suck.
Here's the thing. I'm actually, dude, I was thinking about that shit the other day. I'm like, what the fuck did I do wrong? Because I have like twice your health and everything. People, go back and look at our videos in the Midnight Chat Attack. I forgot to put this up on the playthroughs or whatever, but we did a test stream playing Ark for an hour and a half. I don't even know if you guys knew this. That was our longest video game stream for YouTube. So,
well, mostly because I was killing Nick and Nick was losing his fucking mind, so he wanted to keep killing me.
Yeah, like, man, I gotta stop doing that shit. Because I know you guys were like, let's do a cool little stream, 20 minutes. Man, an hour and 40 minutes later, some shit. It's like, what the fuck? But yeah, Justin Alvarez was actually in the chat at the time. He's saying, yeah, that was 2 a.m. a day ago. Yeah, 2 a.m. in the morning, people. So make sure to kind of keep it locked on the Midnight Chat Attack YouTube channel because we have no idea when we'll actually just start doing shit for no reason.
We have no idea.
Yeah, we're gonna start doing shit. I love it though. I love doing that. But here's the thing: what I do love doing is I do like talking about video games when it actually makes sense to do so. And we did talk a lot about these video games in the pre-show. But I'm gonna start this off. I'm gonna do this really, really quick because there's so many games to talk about, and I think that they all need at least a mention because it is a pretty big fucking deal. I mean, Alan, Ganja, I know we all disagree with certain things, but didn't it feel epic this year?
It's weird because it felt like it's hard to really describe because in my overall opinion, I think that last year's was a little bit better because of the press conferences on average. But I think this year was more interesting because we got to see a lot of the stuff that last year introduced. So to me, it's like it's hard to say if it felt more epic, but it did have more epic titles.
Okay, and like you, Ganja, do you agree on the epicness of this? Like, do you feel like this was a pretty epic show? Whether or not you actually liked it, it felt like a big deal.
No, not at all. Like I think the thing like with E3, I haven't felt like an epicness towards E3 in a long time. Back when it was kind of still G4 and they were still pushing it for like major audience viewing, and I think that's because they did a lot towards the, I would guess you say, the joy of the con of it. Like it almost felt like a Comic-Con to an extent that everyone was in love with it. They came dressed up and they had all these people that were really in depth with it. This year, it just feels more and more like just a regular kind of press conference thing. It's no more difference when you get to see how one of the halls when they talk about like this is our next 10 years of Disney.
Yeah, man.
There's no theatrics. I miss the theatrics E3 used to have when I was younger, and I know it's because the games got expensive and E3's got more expensive. So it's like, do we either make the video game for you, Ganja, or do we give you a fucking living movie title for the presentation of the game? So I'm not unrealistic in why they don't do it anymore. But it's one of those things like, yeah, the games are real, but like E3 like itself was not epic to me. Like I think the games were pretty cool though.
Yeah, and like one game I want to start off with big time, and this is something that I didn't even know what it was. I was looking, I was like, oh my god, this is new IP, and I don't know why I didn't put together that this is the same kind of mascot for the first one. But Ori and the Ant-Man and the Wasp, or what it was called?
Ori and the Wasp. Yeah, it's one of those games that came out a while ago, a couple years ago.
Yeah, man.
Ori and the Blind Forest. And it was a pretty fun game. It was very, very difficult, but its art style played in so well with this. And I played and beat it, and it was a lot of fun. So when I saw Ori and the Will of the Wisp, I'm like, hey, what's different? And within moments, it seems like they actually have a combat system this time. Because last time, it's not that they didn't have a combat system. Is their combat wasn't like, oh, hold X to attack. It was like you can basically like hold the button, and it would send you flying in a direction, and you can use that to attack enemies.
Mm-hmm.
This time it seems like you have an actual dedicated combat system. So I'm like, I wonder how they're going to implement that game, because that game is all about like traversing the environment. It's a platformer. It's a modern day platformer done really, really well.
And it has very, very good hit detection, it seems. Like, when he's punching somebody and the way the combos link to each other, it feels like the screen's kind of shaking as you're hitting somebody. I'm like, this is something that kind of won me over with the first God of War games. Or, like Devil May Cry, I feel like doesn't have great hit detection sometimes. It just feels like, oh, yeah, I'm just coming through the same kind of enemy. It's just designed a certain way.
Of
but
course.
this feels like a weight, like almost like a fighting game weight to it. I mean, I love this shit. But you, Ganja, I know you don't give a fuck about these type of things, but Ori and the Blind Forest, did you ever want to play it? And with the sequel, do you think you might get this?
No, I'm not really much interested into it. I remember 90s playing it, just losing his shit every time he had to die constantly.
Oh,
So-
dude, die every 10 seconds.
Every fucking 10 seconds. I was watching him play it a couple times. But honestly, these platforming games are really not my type of tea. There's probably been a few that if I could really sit back and think about it and give it like a good maybe 30-minute thought that I actually really enjoyed playing. But those are far few in between and probably cross different generation consoles now that I'm getting older and older. So I'm really not that interested so much into it.
Yeah, looking at this over here, this is a game called Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Now, this fucking thing.
I'm interested in this one a lot, because what's up?
Well, with that too, because I want to bring up something to you, and this is going to be kind of our bridge between this and Sony, and we'll bring this up later on. But seeing this, you're excited about talking about it right now. But when you saw this and other games like this, kind of was shown later on, like that whole. I look like Assassin's Creed. I forgot what the name of the fucking game was.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, did this game, like how interesting it was, did this kind of ruin your, I guess, like excitement for the other games that were kind of similar later on in the press conference?
No, the only thing that ruined my excitement for this is the developer. See, these are the same guys that make Dark Souls, and it's published by Activision, so that's fucking weird. And to me, it's like when I think of anything that they do, it's like it's always the same kind of thing where it's like, let's have our enemies, let's do all that stuff. But it always bothers me is the story, because there's story in Dark Souls, all of them in Bloodborne, but it's not done in a traditional sense where it's like you got cutscenes and novels and stuff like that. It's like you just have to find like items and item descriptions and try to piece it together from the one or two NPCs you find, and you eventually figure out some version of a story. But it's like, to me, I don't want to work for a story. I want it to be there. I want to work for extra elements, side quests, but not the main story. And to me, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, From Software. I'm like, it looks different to the other shit, and it actually has a combat system this time, with actual, blocking and parrying and actual, swords clashing, as opposed to just swing your sword wildly until the thing's dead. So it's like, it actually seems like a lot of fun. But when I see something else, like we'll talk later on, that looks so different and so much better, but this still looks interesting. So I'm like, yeah, it's different enough for me to be like, yeah, I'll probably get both.
Now, you, Ganja, when it comes to these things, you were kind of like jealous, I think, like 2 years ago when people were talking about Dark Souls 3, and you're like, dude, I'm a gamer and I don't even know what the fuck to do to talk to people that are into this shit, and like, I fucking hate this. I mean, do you think you might actually kind of like be ahead of the curve this time and actually get this game? Is it interesting enough for you to actually give it a shot?
No, not at all, man. Like this, I don't know. I'm getting kind of jaded when it comes to video games. I know that's funny because I host an Untitled Video Game Show, but that's why I have Birdman as a co-host who loves everything and just lets us slap his balls around his face with video game goodness.
It's fun to enjoy things every now and then.
Just slap his balls with video game goodness, and I just, it's just that when it comes to these games, I always like, all right, I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm like the environment because I do like the idea of feudal Japan. That's one of the things that when we get to the Sony's press conference, I do like that game that they presented. It looks kind of cool in detail, but it's one of those things that the combat kind of looks too much of the similar, just hack and slash, kill a lot of bad guys, or it's gonna either do that or it's gonna give us this, the kind of what Naughty Dog game, Uncharted kind of combat where you jump from one boss to another in quick slashes and repetitive moments. And that kind of gameplay element kind of bores me.
Okay. Now, here's the thing about that bores me. And I know I didn't talk on those other two things because I do feel like I was just going to mirror the same things you guys were going to say. But now we're going to get into a thing where I need to discuss something. This Crackdown 3 overhyped bull fucking shit is ridiculous. This was a bad trailer, and this shit looks like a PS3 game. Tyler, or what's his name? Terry Crews. His fucking jokes. It was like a fucking, what was it, like a 2-minute fucking Old Spice commercial, basically. With
it might as well have been. And honestly, the thing is, the only thing I'll disagree with you, and from now until done with this rant, is the graphics. It's cel shaded. It's supposed to look like that. It is supposed to kind of look like that. And to me, graphics don't matter as long as you can make something interesting. Like a wide open world of 100% destruction, I think will make it better than it being, pretty graphics. Fuck this game. I am fucking pissed off with this because I like the first Crackdown. The first Crackdown was kind of interesting with the, taking out all these big, crime lords. Second one was a colossal garbage. But this third one, the entire Xbox One lifetime is the feel like this game has been advertised for, and they've never announced it. At this point, it's gonna be canceled. And it's at this point, never trust anything Microsoft. That's why I was so pissed at Microsoft. For people that remember the Untitled Video Game Show on the MTA when I ranted about it, it was because of this fucking game. Because I feel like this game's never gonna come out.
Yeah, no, and here's the thing, dude. It's like it doesn't look like a game that looks so good that I'm kind of like okay with this taking a long time to come out. And you're talking about cel shaded graphics. Yeah, this is cool that it has that, but I saw Borderlands 2 on PS3 looked way better than this.
And
way better than this.
This looks way better. Borderlands, this one it does a different version of study. That one you can see the black lines on every character, like they were actually from like a comic. But this is different. This is modeled better. You can see that much, but it's not.
This
that
is more
much
like a cartoon in a sense.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, Ganja, like, is this a cartoon that you see yourself kind of getting lost in the universe of it, or?
I was a huge fan of the Crackdown series. I even like Crackdown 2 as
really?
as basic and as kind of like rushed as it seemingly was. I like the idea of being the super cup that's going around. And in the Crackdown 2, the storyline was hinted that you might fight against the agency. But from this trailer, it's like, hey, we're going to do the same Crackdown bullshit you like by giving this random group of thugs that are coming around and trying to stop the agency from doing something. And now you got to go around and just defeat these. That's just my problem with the Crackdown series. It's never had a stable storyline, and the stuff it makes you do, it seems like it's just based on the open world tactics, and there's never really that much there from what I remember in the second one. That there was sometimes you got side missions, you got race missions, and you got these chase across the rooftops that make you feel like you're Superman. But besides that, you're just left in this empty space of open world that you can't really do anything in. And now that the environment's open to world destruction, that sounds cool, but is it really true destruction? Is it like some guerrilla war faction shit where I could take out the whole neighborhood if I wanted to?
Apparently, it's only for the multiplayer. That's not for the single player.
What?
Oh
So
my
fuck
God.
you.
Yeah, apparently the 100% destruction is only that. Okay, then again, that information is 5 years old at this fucking point, so maybe they fucking changed it. I don't fucking know. But the last thing I heard about it was the only way you get 100% destruction is when you're playing with a friend, because fuck that game. But
Okay,
honestly,
then,
and I
fuck
was
you
about to
then.
say, yeah, I was about to say it before fucking Justin Alvarez said it. Saints Row ripoff. No, Saints Row 4 is a Crackdown ripoff and did it 100 times better. They took the exact same fucking combat system, exact same everything, but what they did is they made an interesting story with the characters in the universe and made it so that even though they took the same gameplay, they made it more interesting. You want to play Crackdown 3? Play Saints Row 4.
No, it's in matter of fact, if you want to play Crackdown 3 and make your own character and actually have a little bit of yourself into the fucking video game, then play Saints Row 4 or Get Out of
Exactly.
Hell, or whatever the case may be. Because, dude, I gotta tell you, like, it's fucking annoying that happened where we saw this trailer or something similar a while back. The gameplay stuff didn't have a HUD, so it's like it could be gameplay or it could not be. It looked bad, and it's like the only reason why I think it was gameplay is because it looked so bad. There was nothing in that trailer that told me, hey, by the way, you're watching gameplay right now. It was nothing that special, and it was nothing that honest about what it actually was in the first place. I wouldn't be surprised if in a year from now this game comes out and does bad because people have just got better versions of this on the way to its actual fucking release date, which we still don't even know. Do we know the release date at this point?
Nope. It's, at this point, I'll be surprised if it comes out next year.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. But then, speaking of release dates and shit like that, here's the thing, man. Too little, too fucking late. Kingdom Hearts 3, man.
Oh, fuck you.
I'm sorry. I'm so sick of people overhyping this fucking game. And I've been watching my girlfriend play this lately, and it's cool. I've been watching her play, and I'm like, okay, this is actually kind of badass, blah, blah, blah. But, like, dude, this particular game, for one, does not look that much better than fucking some of the old ones. I gotta say that. And the big thing here, too, is, like, you just got mad, Alan, about Crackdown taking so long. People got mad about Duke Nukem. People get mad about a lot of games. Why the fuck are people still cool with Kingdom Hearts 3 taking so long to fucking get released and yet are still excited? This is obviously bias for this shit. People just
Not even
want
that
to
in that sense is that this had a lot of development issues, but they didn't show it at every single E3. Crackdown is a flagship title of the company. That is just a popular game. That's not a flagship game of Square Enix. That's not the flagship games of Square Enix are Just Cause and Final Fantasy. This is just a fan game almost. It's like a side, not a side thing. It's this lower scale game. It just has a super popular fan base. But when I sit there and be like, okay, this probably took longer. We didn't hear about this. We've only heard about this the last 2 years because they're finally fucking announcing it. But 5 years ago, people were just like, yo, where's Kingdom Hearts at? And they're like, hey, it's coming out. That's all we knew. But with Crackdown, they've been showing it for 5 years.
Yeah, and here's another thing I gotta bring up too that's really frustrating to me as well. The overhyping of certain things, once again. Stop throwing fucking this frozen chick down my fucking throat. You did
Come on,
this
man.
with
You
Coco.
knew that was going to be there.
Yeah, I didn't want this either, but this is gonna happen, Nick.
Yeah, it's frustrating though, especially in anybody. Is Josh Gad still voicing that fucking snowman?
Oh yeah, that snowman's gonna have Josh. They get the voice actors. That was.
Are they gonna get Johnny? Is Johnny Depp in the Pirates of the Caribbean? Because
I don't think
Kingdom
he
Hearts
was. Was he?
Kingdom Hearts 2
Was
he was.
he?
Yeah.
It was a
Seriously?
pretty good impersonator if that was the case.
Oh, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ!
But like, okay, like you, Allie. I mean, you gotta be honest too. You're getting sick of this Frozen shit, right?
I never saw Frozen, so
No, but
I
just the
was
hype
never
around
really.
it, like people seeing the song and people always kind of hyping it up and whatnot.
I mean, like, I haven't heard a ton of things about it lately, except for, of course, that terrible short in front of Coco. But other than that, like, it's kind of gone away. You know, I know I keep seeing the characters every once in a while, but it hasn't been like in my face like some other properties have. So I haven't really thought about it. So
my problem with the whole Frozen aspect and like the aspect of them like showing like Frozen is like I get where it's coming from. Because one thing about Kingdom Hearts, it was the main appeal of what the first one and the second one is. Hey, we're gonna make this great, like, epic Final Fantasy style story with this very fast-paced gameplay with these very cartoonish imagery, and just going all out with this very cartoon imagery and having these aspects of Disney that they could build upon and actually have a lot of the Disney creative team actually helped them. This is back when Disney Interactive was still a thing. Actually helped Square Enix develop a lot of these characters and narratives, and are actually work hand in hand. And one of the big thing was. For me and Allie and a lot of kids in our generation that played the first Kingdom Hearts was, hey, we're gonna take you back to all the movies that you remember from your childhood. You're gonna be Sora and you're gonna actually run around with these characters and you try to save all these different Disney universes from this ultimate terror that's going around hurting all these different worlds within the Disney canon. And for a young kid, that's fucking amazing to be hanging out with Goofy Donald, going to hang out with the Nightmare Before Christmas people, hanging out with Tarzan, swinging it, and just going down to the Little Mermaid where it turns into a Dance Dance Simulator, because that's all the movie is. It's based off of the world that they created there. And in the second one, they went to greater detail that you actually played in The Lion King, and you could actually run around as one of the lions and had a combat system was based around the fact that he had to carry the Keyblade in his mouth. And he had different character designs for the different characters. Like, it's not just, hey, check out this. Do you remember this reference? It's like, no, you're here in the Hercules world, and your character now has the abilities of a demigod, and now has the experience and the lifestyle of growing up in the Hercules world, because he's one of those people that can jump from different universes. So when he comes into those different, like for example, the Monster Universe, he actually takes on the embodiment of the different characters. And I think that's just fucking amazing because it allows kids to actually feel like they're playing in these movies and these epic stories.
And you don't have to create all these games to mirror these stories in the movies all the time. It's like you can get everyone's always like, I wish we had a Lion King game, another this, another that, and it's like, well, you can get it with Kingdom Hearts 3 because he's going to take those particular.
Well, that's the thing with, like, for example, Alan's a huge fan of Hercules, but that movie's 20 years old. You're not going to get a Hercules game.
Yeah,
exactly.
we did already. But it's funny because what sold me, like, I was always kind of interested, but 100% sold me is when they went to the Pirates of the Caribbean world. I'm like, yo, is that ship combat?
Well, not that, I don't know if you noticed, but they change the art style every time they go to a different universe.
They do. It is really cool. Also,
I'm not trying to feel about that, though. It throws me off because
just an update. Johnny Depp did not voice Jack Sparrow in the game.
Oh, damn, that was a great fucking.
That's a pretty good. I could not tell.
Good. Yeah, I was like, they wouldn't get. He was at his prime when the games came out. I just don't think that they would have had enough money for him.
What about now?
Oh, now definitely he would do it.
They can redub his voice. All they need, like, they could do that.
Yeah, but what were you saying earlier though, Alan?
Oh no, I was saying that I was surprised because like the art style changes every single time, but it's weird because it's like every single time I see that game, it's a different game. So when we saw the Toy Store, I'm like, oh cool. Then we see the stuff at Microsoft, I'm like, oh cool. Then we see the stuff at Sony, like, now it's a pirate game. Oh, okay, because every time I see it, it's like a new game. So I'm like, that to me makes it more interesting. It's like I feel like this game's either gonna be 5 hours or 30.
Well, the Kingdom Hearts games are long. Ali, you could attest that. You did a whole fucking.
Okay, because that makes sense. It feels like there's a different game every couple of minutes.
Well, that was something in the second one they were really trying to do, that when you got to different worlds that the gameplay was different surrounding the world. They touched on the first one with the Little Mermaid world, but now it looks like this is probably why the games took so long, is they wanted to give every world you went to a real custom unique feeling to it.
Yeah. And one thing I want to say too, really quick too, is because I don't know a lot about the lore of this thing. You know, I'm not into Disney, so it's like I'm one of the people that they would like to sell, sell too, because like the whole idea is, people that are already into this are gonna buy this no matter what. So it's up to people like me. You gotta sell it to me. And I'm
Sure.
thinking when I look at this, granted, you guys saying that the style changes after each place they go into, whatever the fuck. But either way, everything I've seen on here, I haven't liked the graphics. And Allie, you've been playing this a lot, and you're a person who gives a lot of fuck about graphics. Is this something? Were you expecting more out of this so far, Allie? Or does this look kind of good enough for you?
Actually, this looks better than the other games. I think that there's more depth, there's more like texture and detailing, but like to a certain extent, like Kingdom Hearts, it's very cartoonish. Because I mean it's set in the Disney world, so that's just kind of like what you expect. You wouldn't expect, of course, like realistic Last of Us type of graphics, So it's exactly what I thought. I thought it would be more updated, like the later Final Fantasy. Like I thought it would be kind of up to that standard, except a little bit more cartoony because, of course, set within the Disney realm. So I think this is perfect, and I think like still the graphics look still very crisp. And still have a lot of color, vibrancy. So I'm happy with the graphics. I don't think it needs to be like extremely realistic or anything. I feel like it looks good as it is.
Okay, now the next thing I'm going to bring up really quick here is this game called The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. The thing is, this is another Life is Strange thing. Now, I don't like Life is Strange, and I don't like these games that keep doing this shit where they basically get the small little story, kind of like Brothers. Have you guys ever played Brothers on PS3?
No.
Yeah, but there's these like story games where basically, and it does a lot of that. But man, I'm so sick of games that are trying to get emotion out of me in exchange for no fucking gameplay, what the fuck soever. Like it's worse than Telltale.
Me too, brother.
Yeah, like what do you think? Like when you watch this trailer, I mean, do you feel like because the crowd was clapping, the crowd was into it. So is this something that we're just not fucking getting, or is like?
It's weird because when I hate Telltale, I just think it's QTE's the game, and I fucking hate that shit. That's why I honestly didn't play Life is Strange for the longest time until I literally got it for free. I literally got the entire season for free, like it's probably like 4 or 5 years afterwards. And I was gonna give it to my buddy. He's like, no, I'm gonna get on PS4. You play it. I'm like, okay, let me just try out, the episode. And it's weird. I think it was one of the only ones where it's like, yeah, you're just shuffling around the environment and making a few choices. But I think they were able to capture what it's like just to be real, with the real person. And I feel like you never get that in those Telltale games. It's just this weird out of fucking nowhere stuff. And then when the crazy stuff starts happening with that game, it's an interesting gameplay mechanic because it's just turning back time. So you get to do a lot of your choices, you get to do a lot of cool stuff. And then as it went on, it ramped up to the end, and it was a really well told story. As far as the gameplay, I think the story was well enough that the little gameplay there was still amplified. Am I excited for this? Fuck no. But it could be okay. I wasn't excited for The Last of Us until I played it, so maybe this is gonna be cool.
True, and like that's the thing though. Like I compared this, something as small as this to something like Tunic, where this game is.
Yeah, that looked great.
Yeah, it could be cutesy and it could be indie and small and maybe some kind of moral at the end of the game, whatever the fuck. But it looks great and it's kind of a rip off too. But you can rip off games and do great. This is definitely a Link to the Past. I mean, you've played these games tons of times from Legend of Zelda games. You know that this is a complete.
Oh yeah, it's a fucking Zelda game. But as soon as I saw the combat, I'm like, yo, that combat's fucking great. Look at that combat. I think that's the reason. If it didn't have as good of a combat, I'd be like, whatever. But actually seeing him taking on like screen on enemy, I'm like, that looks like a lot of fun. I actually legit want to play that game.
Yeah, and there's so much shit happening on screen at once. Like I love this shit, and I like the idea that every time you kill somebody,
you drop combat. Look at them beat the shit out of that thing. That looks cool.
Yeah, so I mean, I really like this stuff, man. This is something that I do think that Tunic could be something that if it does well enough, maybe at some point that this will get a sequel or some kind of DLC, or this will be something that everyone's talking about at some point. But you're waving your hand, Gajo. What's going on?
Oh no, I was just making fun of his enjoyment of the game, just being a dick, playful dick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you play with your dick over there, buddy. Because one thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play with my little toad dick because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
What's this a segue to? Okay, I was about to say.
I'm gonna start calling you Mr. Toad from now on.
I was Mr. Toad Dick.
No, I was insulting my toad dick. Fuck you, man. You fucking asshole. Oh man, I'm gonna have toe sex with Alan. But the thing is, though, thinking about this, yeah, obviously no gameplay to talk about, really. But I do feel like I'm kind of mad about this, even though I'm glad to see Battletoads return. The reason why I'm mad is because I do think that this is going to be one of the situations where they're not going to remake the first game at all. They're not going to remaster it. It's just going to be an actual brand new game, and it's going to be hard as fuck, like Cuphead or something. You know what I mean?
Saying it's hard as fuck in Battletoads, it kind of comes with the territory. I wish Whiskey was in the fucking chat because he's utterly convinced that nobody has ever beaten the third level of that first game on the NES. So it's like, to me, I like that game because I used to play those games all the time with my brother when I was a kid. And I used to just have fun with it. I never found them that hard, mostly because, again, me and my brother would play it. And I'm not saying we're the best, but it was always just the fun of playing with other people, and I hope they keep that up. I hope there is both local and online multiplayer. Because if it was just local multiplayer, I'd be upset because it's like, man, I don't have anyone. I don't have anyone around. That's why multiplayer fucking became like online everywhere, because not everyone has friends that can always come over. But I hope that they do that, because I would love to play this, just with some of my friends online, or play this with Ganja and watch them suck at it.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, speaking of bringing friends over for shit, one thing that I think that, I'm probably going to get this right the fuck away. I'm not into anime that much. You guys keep calling me a weeb because I like a couple of fucking things. But
how do weeb?
This right here, bro.
Yo! Naruto punches Frieza in the face! What more do you need?
And the thing is, like, this is not even gameplay, and I don't give a fuck. It's still great. It looks so goddamn amazing, and I'm glad to hear Alan not saying that this is a mobile game, just like you said about Dragon Fighter Z, or whatever the fuck it's called.
I still stand by my point. Am I thrilled at art style with this? It looks kind of gross, but the gameplay fucking makes up for it. It's just, I don't know why the animation just looks so like weird, but it's so cool, because it's basically what people wanted for Smash Bros. They wanted all these anime characters in Smash Bros. Fuck it, here you go. Here's anime Smash Bros. And to me, it looks fucking great. They only showed maybe 6 characters, but I could totally see a lot, because they have 3 different universes. They can get all sorts of people in on this, and it's not like a fighting game in the same sense as Fighter Z or Street Fighter even. It's more of the Naruto Ninja Storms, so it's kind of more of a brawler, like a 3D fighter brawler. And to me, it's it's not trying to be a fighting game. It's just trying to be a fun game for people just to play. And I actually legit want to play that, because it looks like fucking fun. I want to play as Naruto. I want to beat the shit out of Naruto's, Goku. I want to play every single character that looks fucking cool as hell.
Yeah, no, exactly. And me too. Dude, the thing is, I don't play these Dragon Ball Z games, whatever the fuck. I don't like the stuff. I don't like the properties. I don't like the Kamama, whatever the fuck. But I do.
Wow, I can't wait to see that as a fucking clip.
Wait, what is that? Wait, is that not?
Ooh my gaga! What did you fucking say?
I don't know what the fuck they say.
Kamehameha!
Is that what he says? Is he laughing or something? He's being ticklish? What the fuck? I really hate when you're gonna correct me from what the fuck? He's talking gibberish, Alan.
Kamehameha!
Oh, look at that! His virginity exploded back into him. Anyways.
Well, you were keeping it for so long.
Oh, wait, I had your virginity?
I don't know.
Wait, does that mean he took your V card?
Yeah, I think I just fucked Alan.
I thought that sounded funnier in my head until I said it.
He coming hot over your cheeks.
I was coming.
Anyway, back to Jump Force, a terrible name for otherwise looking like incredible game.
Shit around all over your face.
No, Jump Force. I actually thought it was gonna be a Mario game. I was like, oh my god, Mario, Microsoft, Jump Force. I was like, what the fuck? Why is it called Jump Force? I think of Jump Man when I hear Jump Force, or maybe Mario and Star Wars put together or something. I don't know what the fuck.
At this point, I haven't put Mario in this fucking game. I believe he could fit here.
I know, wouldn't it be great? Just a serious anime, people screaming, blah, blah, and then Mario's like, hey, it's me. What the fuck?
Hey, it's me, Mario. Fuck you, pop.
Exactly, rice versus pizza, just as racist stereotypes. But anyways,
no, just I want Deku in this game.
Oh yeah, I love that shit.
He would fit this game so well. Yo, they need to throw my hero in this, man. They need to throw my hero in this.
And Nick made Alan play with his Dende.
Fuck you. Shut up.
Anyway, Jump Force, which looks really, really fucking good.
Yeah, as good as that ass, Alan. Anyway.
Oh, you suck on those Setsu beans, Alan.
No, but before Alan gets mad and tells the teacher, Allie, you like anime a lot. I'm actually kind of curious. Is there somebody that you would like to have in these kind of games at all? Somebody that might be missing from this? It's a fighting game, and we're talking about anime.
Yeah. I guess maybe Alphonse. I don't know.
Big metal guy for Full Metal.
Just because he would look cool in the game, that's what I could think of, I guess.
Because he does air bending type shit. I guess the alchemy.
Yeah, the alchemy. He could do great in a fighting game.
He would, yeah. And then again, he would look cool to play as well.
Exactly, yeah. And for me, honestly, I've watched it. You can't have the girls from Nana go in there. I'm trying to fuck.
You can. You fucking can. But no, they're posing up there, and I forgot for a second. Fucking Light from Death Note is in this.
No way!
How is
at
that
the end, the guy standing on the building, and the thing flying there is that Ryuk? Yeah, it's Ryuk and Light there. And me and Trey and Gaj were talking about this. You're like, yo, man, this is what he should be in the fighting game. He should write your name on the Death Note, and you have 30 seconds to beat him before you have a heart attack and die, and
Yeah,
all he
that's
does
what
is
I'm
dodge.
thinking. Like, what if he just sits there the whole time and just like writes in his notebook and that's it?
My fairy was like, Trey, he's a big Dragon Ball Z fan. Trey was like, yeah, but you know Goku's safe because that's not his real name. And I was like, what if Vegeta's there? Well, then he's fucked.
Yeah, Vegeta will just yell Kakarot. Like,
I'm sorry if I'm quiet, y'all. I'm trying to find this clip with fucking.
it's literally the last second. If you play to the end of the trailer, it's literally the last thing.
Come on, Nick. Come on, Nick. You can get to that porthole like Star Wars.
Wait, hold on. I think I got it. Where is he?
Use the Force.
Oh my God! Yes!
Yeah.
Oh!
What that out of all the characters in anime that I think would not stand a chance in a fighting game, what the hell is Light doing here?
Dude, I cannot wait for one of the power-ups, whatever the fuck, to be an apple. He just throws that shit.
No, I thought he summons him. It starts to match up with an apple. He bites it and then tosses it. The other guy grabs it and he fights him.
Yeah, God, dude, this. Oh, I'm so.
It's gonna be
fucking hyped for
Pokemon
this.
Master from Smash Bros.
This is really, really cool. But and yeah, like you're saying earlier, My Hero Academia, dude, All Might, like that's the easy one. Have All Might.
All Might would be the perfect fit in this.
Yeah, man. But no, and then like,
Academia,
like how VBM's giving me some shades. Like, how do you not notice L and Ryu at the end?
Wait, that's Light. L is someone else. What are you?
Wait, what
Get
was
the
L someone
fucking
else?
thing right.
Wait, well, maybe L was in here too. Maybe I missed it.
I think you're catching it.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think BBM's catching L trying to throw an L at you.
Okay, yeah, because I mean,
Someone's getting an L.
I was confused by the way too, because with Light and L, they both start with L. So it was like it's one of those things where when I was watching the show, I was like, yeah, get him, L. I mean Light. I mean, fuck.
I don't know how you forgot that name, because that's the dumbest name I've ever heard for a main character in my fucking life.
Yeah, exactly. And then Kirk is saying, if you ever have Willem Dafoe in this, yeah, I would love for him to do the voice for Ryuk and just hear Willem Dafoe just grunting like he's having sex with that girl from the Florida Project. Just
That's not gonna happen, man. You're not gonna have Defoe in this. I'll promise you that.
No, I think that'd be really cool. And then get
It would be, but he's not gonna be
Willem
there.
Dafoe is, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I was shocked with the Justice too, where they had Robert Englund do the voice acting for Scarecrow. I thought that was really, really cool. And I'm like, dude.
Oh, is that what the? Well, they're not gonna put fucking Freddy Krueger back in there, so they might as well get him to do something.
Exactly. Yeah, they're not gonna have him fucking doing anything worth anything. But yeah, man, I know we talked a lot about that, people, but no, that deserved that shit because Jumpman, honestly, for being a new IP and everything too, I think is that a new IP?
It's really hard to say because I remember Trey was talking about like, oh, Jump Force games suck. Apparently, I think it's not so much a new IP, but they've done this kind of idea before, but on like the DS and consoles, no one cares about anymore. So these are those things where it's like it was a really old IP that no one remembers, and this is just the newest version of it.
And speaking of new IPs of shit that's already happened a ton of times, Skate. More Skate. This is called Session, by the way. But I'm going to call it Skate because I don't give a fuck.
Hey, everyone wants it to be Skate, and it's like, if it's anything like the quality of Skate 3 and some of the other Skates, I'm excited for it because it's like, the problem is with Tony Hawk is Activision is 100% the problem with that, where they tried to do Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, and it was just to keep the rights for Tony Hawk. That game was a colossal pile of shit. That was a legit broken game, not just, opinion. It was legit problems, and they just released it to keep the rights, and it was just a mess. They changed the art style 6 months before release, so that's how you know that they were just fucking releasing it for the rights. But this actually looks like it could have. I mean, we always have the CG trailer, but if it has the same quality as the other Skates, I'll play it.
Now, one thing I have to say really quick that's going to kind of like, this will come up later on, especially when we talk about Sony in general. But I have an issue with this because the way it started, not telling me the name of the game, my hopes were getting up. My hopes were like, oh shit, oh my god, Tony Hawk has returned. And then when you find out it's just Session, and I'm like, wow, for one, you just being called Session, which is a very generic, basic ass fucking name, I guarantee that this is not going to be popular in 2 years. It's going to come out, be cool for like 3 months, get some sales in, and then it'll be free on PS Plus or some shit. So I was going to ask you, Ganja, you know, you're a millennial. You played lots of fucking pro skater back in the day. Say what?
Who are you?
No,
that was everyone in this
I'm
call.
40 years old.
We're all millennials here. What are you talking about?
I'm just trying to talk shit. I wish I was older, honestly.
Bring your ass back here in my generation.
No, but you, this game, Session, man. I mean, were you kind of hyped for a Tony Hawk game, and then you see this, and you're like, oh, another skate shit? Like, how do you feel about this type of stuff?
Honestly, man, I haven't been hyped for a Tony Hawk game since fucking Underground 2.
Like, skateboard game, though.
The skateboard game, the last one I played was the first Skate, which was pretty decent to mediocre, depending on how your opinions on that studio and that gameplay. But honestly, I think the skateboard genre is kind of dying. It's one of those sports that I don't really see a lot of people participating anymore. It becomes kind of a niche, which I'm hoping that's what this is, and it does a great job by appealing to a niche audience. In one of the sense, like my simulators on my RTS games do that well, because they have such a niche that they focus so well on completing it and bringing it to life. But if it's just some bullshit like what they've done with the Tony Pro skaters for Activision, then yeah, this is going to be some generic skating game where you have to hold the thumbstick to try to balance it, and there's no actual gameplay. Not generic gameplay, but what's the word for better gameplay? I'm trying to get fancy here without saying better. But
don't get fancy words. Don't use fancy words.
I'm trying to use the fancy words, but you know what I'm getting at. It's nothing that gives it a different flavor than the rest of the games that have come out in the last 10 years.
Exactly, and speaking of games that come out in the last 10 years that didn't really do nothing for me, here's the thing, and you keep arguing with me about this, saying that I'm contradicting myself, etc., because I said that, I remember doing this review. I remember very, very well. I went back and said, you know what? This game's not so bad. But then I played more after that review. The game is really fucking bad, Alan. Dying Light.
You're right. For everyone in the audience, Nick, you don't contradict yourself. You just keep going backwards and forwards like you're playing a shitty skateboards game.
No, maybe because things change. That's why games shouldn't be so fucking long. Maybe they should continue their fucking quality.
Maybe you should finish a game before you have a fucking opinion.
Coming from you,
coming from me.
Now that is the epitome of contradiction right there, folks.
Man, that's the pot calling the kettle black like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
My opinions don't change. Yours keep going back and forth.
Yeah,
I know how I
can. The quality of the product, you have to change it. It's like if I get a new vacuum cleaner and it works right the first day, I'm like, "Dad, this is a great vacuum." If it breaks after 3 days, well, that's a fucked up vacuum. It broke in 3 days.
Well, okay, but then but that's basically saying, like, oh, well, I'm never gonna get that vacuum. It's like, did it work? Was it good? Did it do what it needed to do? Was it defective? There are reasons for that. And yes, I'm fucking excited as shit for Dying Light 2 because I love the hell out of the first Dying Light. Is it perfect? Fuck no. Are there problems? Yeah. The story's a bit generic and nothing we haven't seen before. But what they did with the open world was really good. First-person parkouring, we've seen first-person games before. We've probably even seen first-person games with some version of climbing. But what they did there, they basically took Mirror's Edge and actually made it a lot of fun. And that, to me, was what stood out there. The zombie system was fun. They took a lot of elements from Skyrim as far as how to make the RPG system, and I really appreciated that because I'm tired of seeing the same kind of shit, so I liked what they did with that. I liked the overworld. It was a lot of fun to get around from place to place. And when I saw this, the first thing we see is some guy, running along walls. I'm like, oh, this is the Assassin's Creed game that people have been rumoring. The other one that's made by another company. It's like, no. This is Dying Light 2. And I'm excited as fuck for this. Because we've been hearing Techline talk about this. And I'm surprised they kept this secret because almost so many big releases got announced that the fact that there was a surprise just threw me away. But I'm super excited for this because they're doing a morality system that they never had in the first game, and it's probably going to solve one of the problems you had of, well, why doesn't the guy just have a choice to not burn down this medicine? It's like, well, now we have a situation where since there's a morality system, we can actually choose how we're going to do it. Something maybe New Vegas or some of the Fall games where you could choose how you want to deal with some of these bandits or some of these people. Now, morality systems are nothing new and sometimes aren't done well, but honestly, I really want to fucking see what they're going to do with that. Can they pull it off? Can they make it work really well? So yeah, I'm excited as hell for Dying Light 2.
Yeah, and the thing my issue is looking at this, I'm talking about just graphics. I haven't played the game yet, so me saying, oh, it's bad, it's like, well, I haven't played it. It might be fucking great. I've been wrong so many times, folks, and I'm the first one to tell you. I don't need anybody else to tell me, oh, you fucking wrong, you fucking stupid Nick. You said this before, but then you said that. It's because I know that, I review something or I react to something, and it's like, I'm very, very sure that when I see it, everything could change. I got the Ready Player One. I was kissing that movie's ass before I saw it, and holy shit, that was bad. Spider-Man, I was fucking just talking some shit. Ganja was mad at me.
You talk shit to the review.
Okay, motherfucker. I was just trying to say shit that nobody else was gonna say, but I showed that I love that movie. It was a good movie.
My mind was blown.
We were on the same page, Ganja. We're on the same page, motherfucker.
I didn't feel like it.
I'm sorry, but looking at this, man, the graphics are the same. I mean, I like that they actually use different faces this time around. The fucking first one, there is just different shades of color on the same facial structure 100 fucking times.
Well, that's the thing. You say that the graphics look same, and I feel like I'm gonna keep saying this till the end of this conference. That to me doesn't matter. Did the graphics look good? The graphics look fucking great. To me, it's like, what are they gonna do in the world? Because graphics is one thing, but that's not all what a game is. The game is world. This is an open world. It's going to be like the first one where it's going to be a wide open world. And it looks like a lot of the architecture might be the same kind of continent, but it feels like a lot of the architecture is different. We might have some version where it's like we can fortify places, take some elements from other games and actually make them work well. And it seems like a lot of it's going to work at a choice-based morality system. And to me, those are way more interesting than does the game look pretty? Because we have pretty games all over the place. We don't need the prettiest games. But we need to have games with substance to them.
But we need something that's going to be different. Like the thing is, like you're talking about something which, and you're right by the way too. We could have a lot of stuff, and yes, they are in a different place. But
are they in Paris?
All we have here, because they're not really showing anything new.
I'm not sure.
What?
I asked if they were in Paris because it kind of looks like a European city.
It does look European, but the first game was very European, especially when you get to the second place, almost like an Italian or something on that lanes. To me, this one, I'm not sure exactly if it's there because no one sounded French, so that's probably why they're not in Paris. But it's one of those things. Yeah.
No, wait.
No.
I
just made a French stereotype joke. He just stopped to look at me angry.
I know. He was like, yes, I agree. No, but like the thing I was gonna say though is just like, you know, all we're getting here is just landscape shots, and it's like, okay, I know that this is like a reveal trailer, whatever the fuck, or premiere, world premiere, but this is why they need to stop doing these things, because what they need to do is they need to show you that yes, we're adding other shit. You're talking about morality system, okay? Well, that's something that I didn't even see on here. I'm watching this trailer. Maybe I got the wrong trailer. I didn't even see that.
As it goes on, they even say it in dialogue where it's like they literally have the thing, your choices matter, and then afterwards they have him fighting a bunch of raiders, and there being a choice of, you know, murder them or let them live. Like, honestly, I'm paraphrasing exactly what was written there, but it was that kind of idea of like, and then it also says, oh well, if you let them, then these guys might get angry. So it's gonna be one of those situations where it's like you have a fragile alliance with people around you as part of your own thing to keep you alive. So how you choose dictates how it goes. And they had that like near the end of this. Obviously, like it was a long whatever, so finding that exact moment live will be difficult. But all that stuff was there, and I can't wait to see more of this next year to be like, hey, what else did you guys do? Did you guys fix the combat? Did you guys add, you know, maybe more weapons or different melee weapons? Like, you know, I want to know what else they're gonna show. But this was a good reveal.
Okay, yeah, and like, I mean, that's his official word, but my official word in the sense of like, yo, what you guys gotta do is you gotta show some actual gameplay shit. Show me at least one new thing. I know it'll spoil something, but if you actually did a good job with the sequel, then you can get away with spoiling a couple of things and doing something cool. But don't do something where it's like people were in a different area. It's like, yeah, that goes without saying. It's like when Alan talks about he hates when people bring up cinematography in movies because it's a given. You should have better cinematography. It's like, yeah, this should be in a better place. You better be in fucking France or somewhere else other than the other fucking place, because if you're not, double negative points, because fuck you. And it's like when it comes to, you know, graphics and stuff, for me it's like, that better be better. The reason why, because I don't care about graphics either, honestly, Alan. I'm just like you. But at the same time, it's like, well, you show me nothing else, so where are them pretty graphics? Oh, you don't have none? Then what the fuck? Like, it's like, what? Really? This better be a beautiful game. We're gonna make the same one. I mean, that drives me up the wall. I barely saw zombies here. It's a zombie game.
They didn't show any zombies in this, but they did mention near the end when they revealed the dying light of yo, be careful. Or at the end of it, it's like yo, be careful for night. So I think what it is they know this is a zombie game. We're gonna watch Dead Rising. It's like, yeah, of course it's a zombie game. Like it's like, to me that's the most obvious thing in the world. But it's like, yo, what else you got? Because honestly, zombies, like, they'd be the 5th zombie game they announced this fucking year. So it's like, obviously zombies are in this game. But what else do we got?
I like what Ruthless said. Your choices will not matter. They're lying to you like usual.
Hey, and that happens, but again, I want to see, like, can they actually pull it off? Because Techline, this game has been under wraps for a while. The only thing they talked about was a couple years ago. We want to talk about it, but you know, we're still working on trying to make it work in engines and stuff like that. Because what they want to do is something crazy, and maybe they're actually working on making actual morality system work well. Because we see it happen work well in some places, but not in others. And hey, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt because I enjoyed the first one.
Okay, and it makes sense because we're both at different spectrums of that. But I will say it's like, this is one of those situations too where, yeah, I'm pretty sure when I play this game I'm gonna hate it, then I'm gonna like it, then I'm gonna hate it again, because these kinds of games, I mean, it happened with Dead Island too. Like, I talk lots of good shit about Dead Island, y'all. You guys know how much I love that game, but at the end, that game becomes so fucking bad. Like, you know, at the beginning it's kind of bad because it's boring. Like you say, Alan, too, you hate the melee, you hate the lame fucking shit they do. You know, the voice acting, the story is absolutely garbage. But man, the middle of the game is great, and then it gets bad. And it's like, when some people just need to know what a zombie game is. I don't, you know, there's no reason to make a big fucking story and a big fucking thing out of it. You know, people just want to shoot the zombies and then go.
Yeah, but how many of them do we have? 2 Left 4 Dead, 4 Dead Risings. Like, I'm sorry, I want something. I want a story. That's why I enjoyed the first one. Story was generic, but it was fucking there. It kept me going. It made sense why I was there, and it strung me along until the end. Put a fucking story in there. I'm sick of that mentality about zombies. Who gives a shit? It's like, no, give a shit.
Yeah, you know, and I really wish it would choose another monster. Like, why can't we get Dying Light with robots? Or Dying Light with aliens? You know? Or mutants. I mean, have an X-Men thing where maybe everyone, you know, was like this thing that came out, everyone was cool and shit, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we got there's people who fly. There's people who fucking have big tons or something, and you gotta kill them all because they're fucking crazy.
That would be crazy. I don't know how you balance that around a character that probably doesn't have any.
Hey Nick, you want to play a zombie game? Hey Nick, you want to play a zombie game? Hey Nick, you want to play a zombie game?
Lord.
I love that shit.
bro,
But no, man. Like I said, dude, I do want to play zombie games. Resident Evil 2, I was hyped about. We're talking about that later on. But like, yeah, this particular one, they gotta do something else with Dying Light. But we'll move on, really quick. We're not gonna touch on Devil May Cry 5, people. Fucking nothing happened.
It was a quick. Yeah, it exists. It looks really cool.
Yeah,
Trey jerked off.
exactly.
It's a Devil May Cry trailer. Come on.
And then again, I mean, we'll make this really quick, but you know, Shadow Tomb Raider came out a little too late at this point, y'all. I mean, we got Last of Us 2, where you know the fucking game has balls that this game will, you know, it's not gonna have. And plus, honestly, dude, I think that movie kind of ruined the hype for Tomb Raider a little bit. I think because the movie, you know,
It's a different product. Unfortunately, like as much as I wish that movie was better, the video game and the movie, it's like even though they're trying to emulate that stuff, no one's sitting there going, "Oh man, that movie sucked. I'm never gonna play another Tomb Raider." They're gonna look at that and say, "Okay, this is more the same quality of the first one, and I fucking love Rise of Tomb Raider. That game's fucking incredible." And they're adding some new cooler mechanics, and it's a new world with jungles and stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. You're doing something cool within there. Because again, this is a series that has a consistent quality to them, and they've improved different. The first Tomb Raider and the second Tomb Raider are massive improvements on the formula. I'm curious to see like, okay, what are they gonna do this time? And I'm 95% sure Lara Croft's gonna fight a predator at some point.
yeah, it looks like it, you know, and you know, I don't know if you have any opinion on this Ganja while when I get to the next game, but like, yeah, like, do you care about Tomb Raider at all?
Not really. I haven't played. Even when I played the old Tomb Raiders, I played the first one, and I played Dark Angel, which is the one where you hide the club and you fight in that shit, and you have to find a gun. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the Tomb Raider series. Yeah, that's that old shit game right there where she was in Paris. But that was PlayStation 1. But besides my nostalgia trip, like, honestly, it's not interesting. Like, I've seen Alan play it. I've seen gameplay of it, and it looks really cool. And I like now that they gave her a real personality, and she's not just some hot British chick with, like, double-sized D tits that can somehow crawl through any space. But, like, it's just not that interesting to me. It's just, like Nick says, I'm more interested in, like, because I'm buying a PS4 next week. That's one thing that we're going to have to talk about here. Like, someone's press conference did win me over. And I'm just more interested in The Last of Us. And I feel like this is more of a taste or an appetizer before you get to The Last of Us.
Yeah, and here's one thing I bring up too. Speaking of new games and shit like that, and things, you know, might be winning people over. Not for me though. This whole We Happy Few thing, man. I mean, it's just, hey, creepy shit. You guys like, you know, games that are not necessarily horror, but just creepy, right? Crimson faces, sinister fucking smiles.
Hey guys, remember BioShock?
Yeah.
How about this? Remember Halloween?
Yeah, I remember this. Remember Purge?
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I meant a real Halloween. I dressed up like these characters for Halloween.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like this shit is bad, dude. Like,
I still don't even know if it has any combat. I feel like it's just a walking simulator.
Yeah, and like the idea of like, you know, it's gonna be kind of like a colorful Outlast too, where you try to escape a room and they're like, "Hey, get him!"
It feels like it.
Well, it's not Outlast. It's more of based like Alan. You're gonna get mad. It's based more around the idea of 1984, where where it's like a totalitarian government's taken over. It's like after World War II or World War III happens, and like the nuclear bombs went off, and excuse me, and basically like I think it's a part of London that's still surviving, but like they're on the brink of collapsing, and to keep the citizens happy, they give them doses of drugs every year. Not every year, but every set time, and it's supposed to give you this euphoria, this sense of happiness called joy. I've seen 90s played it back when it was early access. That's why I have no real interest in it now, because I feel like the hype. When you want to talk about games in development for a long time that killed the hype, this is one of them, because it's been early access so long that you already beat the game. So now that it's being officially released, there's no real interest for anyone that was really hyped for it.
You can't even buy it anymore.
That's my point. It's some bullshit. Like, you can pirate it still, but the fact that it was to that point of early access, like, it's no point to it. I know where the story is going to go unless they completely did a 180 change to the idea of it, and I'm not seeing that within the trailer. I'm seeing just more graphical improvements, and that's it.
And one thing they had to do, too, is they need to get with the times and stop being so fucking behind. Like, for instance, are we really at that point now where we still get scared of blood stains? I mean, you know, like, I'm gonna show this again really quick.
Well, it depends on the fucking context of what's going on. Like, obviously we're seeing this stuff, but like for anyone who's played the game, maybe it's like happy-go-lucky, and then you start seeing blood, and that does throw you off because it's like the context. That's what matters.
But it's like just like generic. Like at this point, I'm not saying like I know there's context for everything. You know, that's fucking the most obvious thing to say. But it's like it's one of the situations though where this. I mean, I'm watching it and I'm listening to it too, and I listened to it earlier. But the trailer, the gameplay, actually, there'll be times where there's no dialogue and there's no creepy voices, there's no music, and he's outside, stuck outside, basically trying to find his way back in. And he's by a payphone. There's gun holes, or in the windows and shit. And then he walks by blood, and then he looks down at the blood, like, oh shit, there's blood down there. And I'm like, yo, like, I mean, blood at this point could be like in a PG game, like rated for everyone game now at this point, because it's just so like, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna scare me. Like back in the day with Silent Hill, you see blood, it's like, ooh, where's it leading to? Because you weren't used to those games. I just got done playing fucking Conker's Bad Fur Day and fucking silly shit like that. Nowadays we've seen so much shit. I mean, Evil Within 2 came out last year, and Evil Within before that, and then all these games where people are ripped in half and guts and whatever the fuck are splitting out.
Well, even the new Resident Evil 2 trailer has a guy that gets disemboweled.
Yeah, and it's like in Mortal Kombat, it's a fucking fighting game. And
like I said, imagine playing fucking Mickey Mouse Adventures 2, and then all of a sudden you see blood on the floor. That'll throw you off because of what's going on in the game. Well,
that's exactly what's supposed to happen within the gameplay context. You're a person that's actually waking out of this drug coma for the last 10 years. So when you sober up and you see these like really dark images that the drugs hide, it's supposed to give you a sense of like dread. Or fear or like sense of anxiety.
Yeah, like for instance, like when you're saying with the Mickey Mouse thing, I'm not expecting that, so that's where it works. But in this, it's this fucking weird, like, scary. So it's like, okay, well, it's this kind of scary game. What you guys got? Oh, blood. I'm sorry, but the faces are scarier than the fucking blood. Like, this is silly.
Well, am I gonna shit, play Amnesia. I got scared shitless because of a fucking stationary knight in armor. It was just a statue in a room. It scared the fuck out of me because of the lighting.
You might have been the only one.
No, that game's entire thing is lighting and terrifying you based on your mind just fucking with you, and it seems like that's what entirely this game's about.
Playing tricks on me.
Exactly. Playing tricks on. And then we're getting down to the last bits over here, folks. As far as Microsoft only, everything else is a lot smaller though.
Yeah.
Very, very quick.
Lord, please, God.
This is how I felt during the Microsoft conference. I'm like, yo, man, I'm enjoying this, but goddamn, man, end.
Yeah, and like once again, Cyberpunk 2077. Now I have no comment on this. I put this up because I'm wondering if you guys have anything to say, but this doesn't look great.
Communists in the future. That's it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I was disappointed in it because when I love the guys who make this the CD Projekt Red. They made The Witcher 3, and I fucking love the hell out of the game. I've beaten it twice. It's a fucking incredible game. Y'all should buy it. It's on sale right now. Like, go fucking go find it. Go play it. It's great. And then when I heard they're doing Cyberpunk, I'm like, they're doing first-person shooter? I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. And they're like, hey, it's Cyberpunk. Okay, I'm already sold because I love these guys so much. Seeing this, I'm like, it's not that much it didn't sell me. It's just, it's weird because I guess I expected a darker tone. Because this to me seems like, again, people are pointing out, it seems like a GTA trailer. I'm like, it kind of does. But I expected it to have a much more darker tone because The Witcher was very dark. It was very old school, medieval stuff dark. So everyone was kind of an asshole and sounded British, and no one gave a fuck about life, and people, women were getting brutally murdered and raped all the fucking time.
Well,
so it's like,
you say that, but I think it's supposed to take on that same vibe, but add more of a futuristic vibe to it.
It looks like a GTA trailer. I expected to be more like Dread,
Maybe that's because they want to show the more. Because the thing with Cyberpunk, and if anyone's a fan of the Cyberpunk genre or the aesthetics, please correct me in the chat, and I will say your corrections out loud because I do like the idea of it. So I might make this incorrect. It's been a while since I heard someone explain Cyberpunk to me. But I think the idea is it's supposed to blend the fucking elegantness and the sci-fi of technology with the crazy bombastic of like real like punk idea of like violence and anarchy, like type of not political anarchy, but just like anarchy, just destroying property, taking what you want in the sense of just being in control of your own man. And I think that's why you have such a blend within the trailer of like this real pump rage EDM music that's showing you all these different shots that are like, oh my god, check what this new technology is. Show off these examples between like the extreme violence and the extreme beauty of these with technology in the world. And I think that's what it's trying to present, is the two extremes blended in together. I just wish it would explain more in the trailer than what you said was a basic sci-fi to a GTA kind of clone trailer.
Yeah.
And then what are you saying?
I was gonna say, one of the things is like everyone keeps saying it's a first-person shooter. That trailer did not look like it was for a first-person shooter. Imagine if you saw the GTA 5 reveal trailer and that was a first-person shooter. Like, obviously, like I had to look this up and reading into it. It's like it's going to be a first-person shooter, but apparently what's going to happen is you're going to have your own character creator. So you can create all you do, and then during cutscenes, and then when you're in vehicles and stuff, that's when you're going to have third-person mode, and that's cool because I'm like, hey, you get to have a character creator and it not be pointless. It's one of those things where it's like it's not necessarily unsold me, is that I need to see gameplay before I'm resold. It's like I just expected something else.
Yeah.
Right.
But then, you know, speaking of expecting something else, man, I didn't think I'm gonna watch Gears of War, the soap opera.
Can we talk about the reveal of this first? Because it is the single funniest bait and switch I've ever seen. Oh my god, it was fucking brilliant. Fucking, it's the reveal for people that didn't watch this, and you need to see this for the crowd reaction. It is the weirdest thing in the world. So they just have the Gears of War symbol. It breaks down. Those Funko Pops pop out. And you're like, what the fuck are you watching? What the hell is going on? It just shows a bunch of other pops. And then it goes to the Gears of War mobile game.
Yeah.
Starts talking about Gears Tactics for like 5 minutes. And then he goes, oh yeah, Gears of War 5. And then it goes to Gears of War 5 reveal.
And people, I'm telling you, this is because here's the thing: the word booking can go to a lot of things, like music, wrestling. We all use it for wrestling, obviously, or movies, or presentations, or conferences like this. The booking of that segment was the dumbest, most ass-backwards, stupid fucking thing. And the thing is, it continued, Alan, because you're saying like, oh, and then they showed the game, and then the joke was over. No, they showed us this fucking bitch crying.
Oh, she is the worst character. Okay, it's funny thing. So I played and me and Nick played this. In the first game in Gears of War 4, since that started the new trilogy, you're playing as Marcus Phoenix's son. I don't know who the fuck where the fuck he is, because I didn't see him in that fucking thing. But that girl there, she is annoying, irrational, a child, and constantly just wants to do her own thing despite the fucking mission. And we got to see it there. Now she's the main character, and I'm like, well, she was the most interesting character, but not for reasons that you care about. Because everyone else was, except for Marcus, everyone else was just kind of there. She was the only one with the personality, but the personality is that of a child. Right. So it kind of was annoying. And with this, it's like she's the main character. I'm like, okay, I mean, that's cool. First time Gears is going to have a female lead. I'm like, hopefully they do it, but within the first seconds, it's like, oh no, I'm not going to give a shit about my friends and village and all my people. No, my mom's dead. I'm going to focus on that and be angry at a child.
No, and the biggest thing that's really fucking annoying to me, and now I'm going to get people to hate me, but people, I'm sorry, I'm from the 90s. I say certain shit. It is what it is.
Ruthless. I'm convinced MCA could have produced a better conference than most of these you have listed.
Yeah, but like, and I had to say it, but like, I do think that Gears of War is yet another victim to, we gotta have the girl be in there and be the main character because women are great and we love them. We love women.
See, that's the thing. I don't think it's a victim of that. I think it's a situation where people are no longer afraid to have that, because I was having a screaming match with a fucking idiot a couple days ago, talk about the over-feminization of the video game industry, and I'm like, you're a fucking idiot if you seriously think that oh well, now we have to because it's cool. It's more of, now we don't have to be afraid and we can do whatever we want with this stuff. Because you look at something like BioShock Infinite, the original box art for that was Elizabeth on the cover. She's the most important person in that game, and she was supposed to be the cover of BioShock Infinite. 2K refused to let that happen because they're like, well, it's not going to sell. Put Booker there and give him a gun. That game, it has combat, but that game is more focused on the interaction between those two characters. Because it's like, again, big developers don't want to do that kind of shit. Last of Us, one of the most popular games to come out for the PS3, had to fight tooth and nail to get Ellie on the cover of that fucking game. It was supposed to be just Joel, but they fought to get the actual other most important person in that game on the cover. But now we have a situation where you can, Tomb Raiders, Mirror's Edge, Battlefield's been doing it, and this game as well. It's like, okay, now we can do that and not sit there and be afraid that a publisher's not going to do it because we have more freedom to do so.
Yeah, and I'm looking at chat, Jet saying there needs to be more girl main characters. I completely agree, but this was one weak ass main character girl who is,
that
I feel, honestly, this is going to lead the whole women revolution thing backwards, because when you have this girl come out here and she's like, oh, I'm crying, and then she needs men to help her, take her here and take her there, and I'm like, if you're gonna do the main character thing, don't do this little sister shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is fucking stupid.
Because, I mean, it's not going to set it back. You got Tomb Raider and Last of Us that'll make sure that shit's going to keep going. But if they have a situation where this character can then grow and become less of an annoying child, because she's an annoying child, and that's her entire personality. But if like midway through the game, she eventually grows up and actually realizes the only way to get through this is I have to grow up too, that'd be fine, because that shows growth, and you need that. Like, you know, like a strong character isn't just a grizzled, like, rah, 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 business, I'm going to destroy everything. It's somebody that actually feels like a real person. She doesn't, but she could eventually grow. It's like, okay, I'm going to tune down the annoyingness, but I'm still going to make sure that people are protected. Like, I think they can make her grow, and I'm willing to give it a chance.
And I have one thing I really do think, too, and this is just both genders in general. When you have a new character, get rid of the old character. They got Marcus Phoenix here. We know he's a main dude. And we know now, because they're kind of dressing her to be the new main, we know Marcus is probably going to die now. And it's like... and it's like he's there. His sole purpose is like in wrestling. He's there to pass the torch, And it's like, even if she was a guy, he's still not that badass character because he's hanging on the balls of fucking Marcus Phoenix. And it's like, you know, get Marcus Phoenix out the way. And they did that with Gears of War Judgment, and granted, didn't do so well. But then again, you know, people kind of lied about the game, saying like, "Oh, we're gonna have horde mode, but not. We're gonna have survival, but it's not really survival though." Like, yeah, no, fuck that. Like, don't lie about your product. And when you do make one of these games and you have a new character, make the character actually fucking great without needing a fucking man.
I think they did it well in 4 because he's there, but he's a supporting cast, and Marcus has always been better he's a side piece. And I think that. I don't think they did much with his son, and I don't really think they did a lot with that game, but I think that he was a good addition as a side character. I don't want them to kill him off. I'm not even a huge Gears fan, and I just don't like that situation. The only thing we can do with the character after the Prime is to fucking kill him off.
Yeah, it's called death. It's final for all of us.
Yeah.
Yes, but if you're doing your entire game just to death so the character can get motivated, fuck that. That's just cheap. We're like, we got to get it to get some sort of fucking emotion out of you. Like what they did in 4 was fine. He was he was part of it, and he helped guide the new generation onto there. It would have been fine if they just, okay, I'm going to go back home and fuck off until, you know, my passing. But just to die just to get some fucking emotion so you can get the Gears fans to jerk off into a napkin? Fuck that.
You damn right.
Wait, why into a napkin? Why are we so regal? Like, a gentleman does into a napkin. God damn it.
Whatever. Point is, it's like I'm sick of that shit where we got to just kill off the old cast because fucking Star Wars did that, and they're going to keep fucking doing that.
I just use paper towels. I just want to say, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, bounty.
Anyway.
I'll let the keyboards catch it.
No!
Remind me never to go to your house. Ever.
Good lord, man. No, but
anyway,
I'm looking here too. Jet saying men usually write women horribly, and this is probably a situation where the man probably wrote her. Yeah, I know for sure it's a man writing her. Cliff Brzezinski, I think he's writing it. Right?
He hasn't been on Gears of War since 3.
Oh, well, then no wonder things have kind of changed a little bit for the better. You know.
Yeah, because he left. I think he even left Epic Games a few years afterwards. But yeah, Epic hasn't made these in a while. I can't remember who the guys that make them, but I think Judgment and 4 are made by the different developer. And as much as like I get what you're saying that because yeah, often enough times I don't think it's all the time. I think that you can have it work really well, but yeah, more often than not. And even if that situation, like I don't think even if that situation it's man or woman, that's just a terribly written character. But again, you can make it work. You can make them grow. I've seen it happen multiple times.
And people, our last announcement to talk about Microsoft, very very quick. One word: Just Cause 4. Done. So, anyways, moving on to the next fucking thing. Man, I gotta tell you. Just Cause 4, Just Cause 3 just came out last year, right? Or a year and a half ago?
No, it's been a while, actually.
Well, fuck. I got that game. I played it the first mission. I still never picked it up again because it's so fucking just
it's repetitive. Shit. It's repetitive as fuck. It's a wide open world and it's pretty as fuck. But it's been like 3 years. But it's one of those things where it's boring. It's repetitive. All you do is the same shit over and over again. I beat the game, and the only reason I did it is because they gave me a wingsuit and a jetpack, and I basically was Superman. It's the only reason I played it.
Yeah, it just was fucking silly to me. But then, you know,
hey,
we go on to
tornadoes.
What's up?
Tornadoes.
You know, that's something. But then again, I mean, Walking Dead tried to do that. You know, iZombie did that. I'm sorry, but tornadoes don't solve everything, folks. You know, they kind of.
Isn't it implied in this game that you have the power to summon tornadoes?
That better not be the fucking case. Like,
that's implied there. It's Geostorm the game, guys.
You just gotta fly in a circle fast enough.
This is bullshit. That better not be the case. I swear to God. But
it seems like it though, because I mean, either tornadoes happen randomly, or you have the power to control them.
No, but the one thing I want to bring up really quick, and this will be fast as shit. And I know we're supposed to be talking about Ubisoft, but I'm gonna start with Bethesda for a bit, because this thing with Rage, what I thought was gonna happen, no one gave a fuck. This is just your typical fucking shooter. I mean, I didn't think we had big E3 announcements for those default games that come out just because nothing else is coming out at the same time. Like.
Well, that's a good way to sum up Bethesda's press conference. And honestly, I think it'd be more interesting to talk about the press conference. As far as this release, honestly, I'd say this. It's more interesting than the stupid trailer they released a week prior. But for people that are wondering why I think Bethesda had the worst one, because there's no way we could talk about all the stupid cringy shit. But this press conference starts off with some bullshit meandering. Some rocker guy trying to dress like fucking Queen just goes on stage and pretends like he's at a rock concert. And then it goes to the fucking developers, who I'm pretty sure don't know anything of what the fuck they're talking about. You know, the giant man and fucking short man that's standing right beside of each other. And I'm pretty sure the teleprompter broke halfway through to when they announced this bullshit. And honestly, it just looked like Bulletstorm. And it looks fine. I mean, it looks better. I might play it, but it just looks like Bulletstorm.
And it looks like that's all they have is shit that's already came out or things that look like something already came out. I mean, this thing with Doom, I'm sorry, but no gameplay. And honestly, it's like you can show a bunch of destruction, but it's like Doom is always this. I thought this was just like a redo trailer from back in the day. Like
I thought it was gonna be a DLC.
I thought it was gonna like I thought they'd just gonna say fuck it, we're gonna do a sequel. This time we're gonna set it entirely in hell.
But like another thing too is like people will talk about Michael Bay and Transformers like, oh, I can't tell what's what. Please, folks, please, what the fuck is anything here? What is?
Well, they
any
get
of
away
this?
with it because it's a weird demonic world of bullshit.
Yeah,
It's not
I
trying
can
to
see
be
it do
real
with
life.
horns. You know, but it's like someone got a box of cliches and just threw them on and set them on fire. You know, like
Nah, not to go way to sum up Doom though. It's all cliches.
yeah,
It's a
man.
cliche military man, cliche demons, cliche hell. Like that's kind of what the game is. And at the end of it, it's like, yeah, we need to see more gameplay to see what it's going to be. But if it's good, if the shooting's as good as Wolfenstein 2, I'll fucking play it.
Yeah, and then we get something like Quake. Gonna be cool. Can't wait for Quake. You know, it looks terrible, honestly, but I have been waiting for this to come out because I like fast twitch shooters. And I do think that I wish Unreal Tournament would come out, but they're not going to come out with that anytime soon. It is what it is. But then let's just get to the thing that we're going to talk about. It's probably the only thing we're going to talk about is Fallout 76 and how it's not fucking Fallout.
I'm sorry. I'm saying this straight up. I'm putting my foot down. I refuse to support Bethesda at this point. Ever since Fallout 4, fuck you. Ever since Fallout 4 got released, they've been fucking up. Elder Scrolls Online came out. No, that's not Bethesda, but they still fucking. The reason that anyone gives a shit about Elder Scrolls is because of Bethesda. Fallout 4, I felt like there's a lot of problems with the story and a lot of the side quests, and all the DLC sucked. And this is the fucking final straw. This isn't a Fallout game. I know Ruthless is super excited for that because he likes building and Conan and all that stuff, and that's fine. But don't call this a fucking Fallout game. There are no NPCs going to be in this game. All the quote-unquote quests are going to probably just be like, hey, build this whatever or get this much silver so they can get a code for some other bullshit. It's just basically build shit with your friends. This isn't a fucking Fallout game. I'm sorry.
Alan, check your Steam.
Fuck you. I utterly refuse to support Bethesda. I am not playing this fucking game.
No, I'll check my Steam. But I don't like it though.
This is fucking ridiculous. Like Fallout 4 has a lot of fucking issues, and the building was fine in it, but a whole game based off that? Fuck you, Bethesda.
Well, the thing that's frustrating to me is the fact that they took so long for this particular announcement. Like, I mean, they sat there and talked about this up at fucking. I mean, dude, they showed the trailer 3 fucking times. Dude.
Oh my god, they showed the trailer. Like, I get it. Like they showed. Oh my god, I was fucking furious. I'm like, get to it. They barely showed any gameplay for a game that's coming out in 3 months or 5 months.
Yeah, and then like the things they promise is shit that you hate about other games. Dude, what? Please, someone, please tell me what the fuck is the idea of, hey, if all your friends are together and you guys are all equally assholes, you can nuke somebody else's hard work that they spent 8 to fucking 10 hours making and just nuke it because the internet, bro. Like
I know, fucking Raheem and what was it? And Ruthless are mad at me in the chat, and mostly because of my opinions on Fallout New Vegas. But I'll say this. Again, my issues with Fallout New Vegas were a lot of the other stuff. It's fine. There are problems with it. I don't think it's easy to 3, but it's still a fucking really good Fallout game. But my problem with this is there is nothing here that indicates a Fallout game. Apparently it's not going to have mods or VATs, which is a huge portion of those games. It's not going to have NPCs, another huge portion of the game. And the quote-unquote quests, like, I'm sorry, this isn't a Fallout game. Call it what it is. I know people saying it's not a mainline Fallout game. Fuck it, I don't give a shit. Even something like Metal Gear Rising, which isn't a mainline Metal Gear game, had a story mode, which is what Metal Gear is fucking known for. Fallout has been known for fucking story. Am I wrong? Gotcha, is Fallout not known for story?
Yeah, but the thing, that's not what they're going for with this Fallout. It seems like this is going towards more of the MMORPG route, where that's something a lot of Fallout's been asking for since the second Fallout came out on the old school PC. Like, this is something that they've always been wanting to do, even from the old studios, from the one that originally owned the IP. They wanted to do a Fallout Online. This is something that the universe has constantly lent itself to. I agree with you. It's not a. That's why Ruthless had, like, you both have a good point. It's not a standard Fallout game, so you're not right on that front. But it's still such the idea itself and what they're presented also takes so much great within the Fallout lore in the sense of the story itself that it lends itself perfectly to it. It's not like something like Ark where it's just created out of the blue and like, hey, let's just make it up what's going on. Like,
yeah, but that's why Ark is fine. There's no other series to base it off of. This is entirely on a fucking heavily story-driven gameplay. Now, if you want to take something, same idea of Fallout 4, but make a co-op, that I'm fine with that. I'm not against multiplayer. But for a game that's coming out in 5 months, they basically showed us what the game is. It's just build shit with your friends, get your fucking robot suits, and go fuck up other people that aren't as skilled as you because you spent fucking 40 hours grinding this fucking rock to get some bullshit to unlock your fucking power armor. I'm sorry, this is fucking stupid.
I disagree because, like, from what he's talking about to the fact that you're gonna be playing an actual role-playing game where you actually have to take parts in these important aspects within the economy and within the Fallout world, that is part of Fallout. You're supposed to play a character that's supposed to take part in these massive worlds and environment and create your own character invite. And this is literally a side game for people who want to get into the Fallout world. Yeah, I agree with you, Ruthless. This is not a main storyline, and the fact that it takes in the past before any of the Fallout games. It's really trying to prove that point home that this is not going to be a major story plotline Fallout. This is the MMO RPG for everyone that wanted a sense of, like, for example, what I always want to do is maybe start a raider gang and go take out little towns and villages and go sell their equipment in one of the bigger bandit towns. Or me and you, Alan, like we did in Ark, we could actually do that shit depending on how much the game allows us to. The only thing I'm worried about is I don't think they're going to go in great detail like that. This is not going to be no Star Wars Galaxy bullshit where they actually care about doing the jobs properly.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, but all you're saying right now is something I'm doing in Ark right now, or people doing Conan Exiles right now, or in Minecraft right now.
Yeah, you can say that about anything.
Skin on it.
Yeah, but at that point, every game, like, that's
no.
Every game kind of has that complaint. Like, how many times have Nick said that, and we can't argue about that? Well, this is just taking off of some other shit that's
okay. But the thing is, if this had a regular, again, they didn't show a single quest line in a fucking reveal trailer for a game that's coming out in 5 months. I'm sorry, there's no fucking story in this fucking game. And I did look this shit up. I went reading. I went everywhere. I went and saw this fucking 40-minute documentary that some Kickstarter did to looking into the game, and everything they're fucking talking about is fucking shit from Ark. I'm fucking pissed off.
I like the camera fucked up too. The camera's like, oh fuck shit. No, but
is it a fucking Fallout game? This is just some bullshit they're doing
I disagree
to
with you.
The Fallout fans.
And I honestly think it's a Fallout game because the Fallout universe itself lends itself so much to it. Like, honestly, Fallout, it's bigger than maybe than just a story-driven game. Like, it can be something more successful.
Call it something else. Call it fucking call it Ark, and this is just the DLC for Ark. I can't come up with a name because I'm flustered right now. But this isn't like, fucking why I like the Fallout series.
No. One thing that I think that Alan's trying to say too, and this is something I was going to complain about when I first started talking about it, is the fact that the only reason why this game is called Fallout 76 is because they want to make money. That's really the only reason why. This is such a fucking monetary move because, and you know the reason why, obviously, Contra, right?
Well, that's the thing. You say that, Nick, but they've been hinting at this since Fallout 3.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, the reason why they've been working on this is just because, you know, they could have started a whole new thing and saying, listen, like, this cool idea that we're going to have, this badass game that we're going to be doing, we're going to have this cool idea where, you know, we're going to make a shit ton of money, we're going to make this game fucking perfect, we're going to have a whole new thing. You're laughing because someone came and started yelling at him, I know.
Yeah, my bad. I got a little bit too loud, so someone
someone came to... You know what? I love you so much, Alan.
Oh my god. Can we move on to this BS?
I just know because we're laughing for no reason. I gotta explain this shit. The thing is, people is like,
while
I was talking, I was actually fucking out because I'm trying not to laugh because God just started pointing his finger at Alan going like, haha, fuck you. But someone got mad and yelled at Alan for making too much noise. But the thing is, though, I get yelled at too, by the way. I'm grounded right now, actually. I'm on groundation. Yeah. But the thing is, this game is like, I think what they were trying to do is they do something where it's like, hey, we had this cool idea, but if you put the Fallout logo on it, then they'll buy it. Then you can make all these fucking stories like, hey, man, it's Fallout 76. We're going to put the 76 fucking suit on the guy. Oh, it's in 1976, by the way, and then the world ended on 2076. Stop with the 76, by the way. That's like 4 different 76s. Like, we get it. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, that's the only part I won't complain because, again, it's an interesting part of the lore, it's an interesting part of the story. But my problem is, and what people are yelling at me at the chat, is when I said that there's no story, it's not that I wasn't paying attention to the press conference because they did say overseer missions. But when I specified those missions are going to be, get a random amount of resources or build up a certain settlement in a certain area to get this code in order to get the power armor to get the fucking nuke so you can fuck other people up. That's not a fucking game.
Yeah, it really isn't. You know,
Rufus actually got a good point. This gives those people a game because that was one of my complaints with Knights of the Republic. The fact that I didn't get a sequel game that actually gave me a story-driven plot line, and I had to do all the bullshit MMORPGs to get the story out of it. And this, because it's out of the main storyline for Fallout, you can actually pick this up and just play, and just if you just like the aesthetics from Fallout and the world they built so far.
Which is good because now they have some kind of quality control over the story where it's like, we're not going to come out with a game and then fuck up our lore just because you want to give you guys something else to buy. We're going to give you something that you can just literally play for just fucking fun. But at the same time, if people are going to play this just for fucking fun, then explain to me why this game is actually completely not what people consider fun if they're a Fallout fan. Running and gunning by a house, just randomly shooting your machine gun going brrrr, like it's Call of Duty. I'm sorry, like I like that shit, by the way, too. I am gonna get this game, by the way. I'm talking shit, but it's like it's not Fallout. That's Call of Duty.
Fallout has been about, like, the thing is, what I consider Fallout, it's like, okay, there's always a lot of shooting. There's always a lot of raiders, you know, coming in and destroying towns, stuff like that, and doing Michael Bay stuff, blowing shit up. That is part of the Fallout of just total anarchy, and there's no world order anymore, and there's just little villages trying to survive. Running and gunning isn't why I don't consider. For me, what I consider a Fallout game is where there's a main story which has a simplistic, you know, hey, we're doing this one little thing that explodes into this big world. And what also makes it is the side quests, is the side stories, is the villagers going there, discovering new places, exploring the wasteland, discovering interesting NPCs, discovering interesting villages. It feels like this is going to have none of that. And of course VATS, but they added that in the recent ones. And so if they didn't have VATS in this, I wouldn't be mad. But it feels like they're not going to have the main thing I'm there for, which is a story. And I'm not going to fucking I'm not supporting Bethesda anymore. I refuse.
Well, you know, they're definitely not going to have mods.
Ruth is saying they are, but it's unclear what they're going to have. They're probably going to have some of their own, like, in-game mods, but I doubt you're going to be able to mod this like you could the other ones.
Now, we're going to talk about 3 things from Ubisoft now. I know that, you know, there's Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. I would say something about that, but even they couldn't say nothing about that. I mean, literally, the Starfield was announced just to make people think they weren't going to announce Elder Scrolls 6. And then Elder Scrolls 6 comes up, and it's literally just like that fucking other trailer we talked about. I forgot what trailer we were talking about earlier, but it's like they showed the fucking Dying Light 2. That's what I was going to compare it to.
Well, no, they just showed both those were confirmations because these were all rumors.
Well,
people didn't know if these were
but at the same time, it's like, you know, don't just show us the thing. And then the fans were like, yeah, over the logo. Like, you are a fucking retard if you didn't think they weren't going to announce Elder Scrolls 6.
Okay. First of all, was Elder Scrolls 6 going to be development? We didn't know. Elder Scrolls Online still has people for some fucking reason.
They're still acting crazy over Skyrim. There's no way they're not going to make the 6 either this year or next year. Like, dude, how to make Skyrim your last game would be the most dumbest business move I've ever.
No, not saying their last game is, well, we don't know because because it's Bethesda. It's like Rockstar. People that think that Bully 2 is coming out anytime soon are out of their high goddamn minds. So it's one of those things where they're working on Fallout 76. It's like, well, they're a small company. They're not like EA or Activision where they can have a bunch of people. So it's like they're working on it, but when the hell are they going to go? It's like, okay, now we know, we have confirmation. Same thing with Starfield. Starfield, we had no idea if it was going to be real enough. That was a rumor, and both of those got confirmed. So I was one of those people that was excited. I'm like, finally, I get to finally another Elder Scrolls. I don't know when, but I'm going to. It's real. You know, it's real to me. Yeah. Yeah,
and you know, now again to Ubisoft, and here's the thing. Beyond Good and Evil. This looked like the same old trailer, brother. Is it this was
Monkey?
Ooh. I'm
Where
sorry.
Bethesda pissed me off, Ubisoft disappointed me in everything else they showed. Beyond Good and Evil, I think they showed a little bit different. I can't fucking tell, but they didn't show anything, unfortunately. And yeah, maybe the game's still being worked on because they did that whole thing for the hit record. It's just like, hey, if you guys want to actually add stuff, just send it in and we'll see what works. And I'm like, hey, that's kind of cool. You know, they do that on Kickstarter all the time where they're like, hey, if you donate a certain amount, we'll put like your name there. And I'm like, okay, that'd be kind of cool to see that in like maybe on a radio or something, see like fan created songs. That's fine. My problem is that there was nothing there for me except for the CGI trailer, which shows that the main character from the first game is actually the bad guy in this game. So that's kind of cool for me. I like that, but that was about it. So I was kind of disappointed. Skull and Bones was disappointing because they're taking the ship combat from 4 and 3, but you can't leave your ship and do melee combat. So half the fun is gone. So it's just a ship fighting game. Division 2 it's nothing new. It's the same game. And I love Division 1, but I was hoping give me a reason to play Division 2. And I didn't get a reason there. And don't even get me started on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Holy shit. Yeah. Like, Ruthless said it before I did, and I posted it on Facebook, but Assassin's Creed Odyssey is set 400 years? Okay, actually, before I begin ranting about this, if this game looks fucking amazing, I'm going to buy it. I've always wanted to play in a Greek setting. I'm getting my 300 video game that I've always wanted, and I can't wait. This is not an Assassin's Creed game. This is a Spartans game with the Assassin's Creed logo stitched on top of it because this is 400 years before the Order was created, which means you cannot be an assassin in this game. You are just a random fucking motherfucker. And I don't know what they're going to do, but the game does look amazing.
I like when I told him that he didn't want to believe me.
It made no sense. I was telling you, I'm like, okay, the Assassin's Order was created in 40 BC, but the game is set in 430 BC. Nick, before it was created. What?
I literally went on the show and pulled up the fucking Wikipedia for the difference in the BC timeline so we could figure out this. And it literally, the first thing it says is for the highlights, like pre-Julian calendar. So I guess you got your answer there, Alan.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, those games obviously you just express your opinion on those. But now, like I said, man, we're gonna move on pretty fast now, because really nothing else that we can say about these particular games that hasn't already been said.
Well, most of them are either kind of sequels or remakes of an old IP at this point.
Yeah,
What's up?
like for instance, I gotta bring this up. Oh boy, do I gotta bring this shit up.
What's up?
Resident Evil 2, y'all. For one, I first thought this was gonna be one of those games where you play as a bug or something. Like I thought this was fucking.
I was wondering what the fuck we were looking at for a while.
I mean, me and God said this before. Like this felt like a video game version of Sausage Party. Like you know what I mean? Like it was like, what the fuck's going on? What the fuck is he doing?
I think he's trying to rub his nipples, but you're weird.
Hey, man, don't catch me in my private time alone with Capcom.
No, man, but like that's the thing. Like this is one thing that's kind of cool, and it shows the rat and zombies and blah blah blah, no fucking thing, right? Nice and gore. By the way, with the blood stuff, I'm kind of sick of. So I mean,
Fuck that fucking neck off.
It looked good. It looked really good.
yeah, it did. I mean, I think he thought it looked pretty good too. He's like, shit, that fuck. You want some? No, but
I thought this was I thought they were gonna keep showing what was that fucking game called Days Gone, and I was like, well, they're gonna show me Days Gone, but then they're like, oh no, we got Resident Evil 2, and it looks really good. I'm really excited because I've always wanted
the thing that really got this sold to me is just the gameplay. Because when they showed this, they're showing parts where the inside RPD, the Raccoon City Police Department, you go in there. And lots of things look exactly the same. The corridors and everything are exactly the same, except little, like, horror movie parts, and jump scares and shit happen at different times. They switched it all up.
Well, not like that. Like, you say it's the same, Nick, but I don't know if you noticed, but they added a lot of extra stuff and more elements to the background.
Okay, it's one of those things where when people like remake and redo and remaster have just lost all meaning. But this game, I feel like it's not like a remake in the sense of like something like Spyro. I feel like they just made a new game.
No,
and just called it Red.
No, they built it from the ground up. But the thing is, they're building it from the ground up, but then using basic like almost stills from the other game, saying like
yes.
They were probably coding it, and then they had a image of it in the corner to be like, okay, we got to get this kind of right. Because to me, it's like I've always wanted to play Resident Evil 2, but after playing Code Veronica X, and I'm like, I can't stand these fucking controls. I never want to go back and play the other Resident Evils. But seeing that this is basically very similar to 4, and I love 4, that's one of my favorite Resident Evils, I'll fucking play this. And this looks really good. This almost looks like the same engine that they're running Resident Evil 7 on. I'm like, if this looks like even like 10, like if this looks even half as good as Resident Evil 7, holy, this is gonna be like I honestly cannot wait for this fucking game. Like as soon as I can pre-order that fucking game, I'm already gonna get it.
Yeah, and like you, Ganj, I'm pretty sure you feel exactly. We have the rubbing your nipples and everything.
Like when he was saying that they actually designed these builds, like I wouldn't be surprised after like a few minutes of development they just kissed the photos and shit off the top of their desk.
Yeah,
because like there was like times that like my favorite thing about like this is what remakes should be. What they're doing with the Crash, Spyros, and now with Resident Evil 2 is capture the moment and the essence of the old games, but still make them new and brand and bring them to the forefront. And like we can still add more to it. Just because we have these little set nuances, little set moments that we have to hit because these are hardcore moments within the series, doesn't mean we can't do whatever the fuck we want within that context. And this is what Alan always talks about. Sometimes creative people work better within a constraint. And you're seeing this within the Resident Evil 2 remake. Because, for example, when you go into the police station, I don't know if you saw the longer gameplay that they showed off, where they showed that the storyline takes place in the 90s still, which I fucking love. I thought they were going to reboot it and Leon's going to pull out his smartphone at some point in time. Like, no, this is still the 90s. He's still going through the same bullshit he had to deal with back in the 90s. He ain't going to get no razor phone that's going to make a phone call to the police and federal government anytime soon.
And
the thing is, when they show the police station is, don't you remember, Nick, in the first PlayStation 1 game, there was not that much essence of like a struggle or a sense of battle. It was just like an empty room and just the best kind of background digital picture they could do at the time for the PlayStation 1.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now with the remake, they show like a side where it shows that there was hospital beds where they were trying to take care of people. One side shows a mess of like food and stuff. And they actually have detail and add to show that people were trying to survive in this police station. Because honestly, it makes no sense why you got to come here and find people and find this big conspiracy if there's no reason to be there, if everything's fucking empty. So I love that aspect to it.
Yeah, and I love too that like the place feels like it struggled to keep.
I can't wait till they show off the city. What do you think that's going to be like?
No, I think it's going to be great. I like the fact that it might be in the rain too, so it's like glistening, bloody street of like just like this wet, disgusting fucking area, like, and I watched this other trailer that came out, an international trailer. And it was mixed with gameplay and just like trailer stuff, like just kind of like cutscenes. And he is in the city, dude. And they had the old zombie sound. They're like,
like from Resident Evil 3, where you could just stay still and you hear them.
Yeah, and they brought that back, and it's like, dude, because I hate that fucking Walking Dead like coughing shit, like that fucking weird.
The coughing of phlegm.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I make
Yep.
that noise every time I got spit. You know what I mean? And it's like, I like how those old zombies sound miserable, like they're sick and shit. Like I know people are probably like weird, like what the fuck, you guys are just going.
I'm just trying to gross out Alan at this point.
Oh, I know. I was sad you would throw something at you.
But yeah, but it's I love that they brought back those kind of voices and those groaning, horrible, fucking deathly sounds. So it's like that shit like that. Going in there and putting that much detail into it to change the sounds and the groans of the zombies is like, okay, you know what? This will be a fucking scary game. The horror is back. And you see parts of the game, the guy playing the video game, he's struggling fighting one zombie.
Ooh. And my favorite thing is like, this is one of those things that I love about what's going. I don't know who the fuck's in charge of Sony's remake division, or pointing out the teams that need to do this stuff. Because like, I don't know if you noticed, like he showed like a little Easter egg where he runs past the zombies, close the door, and goes in and pretends like to do his own business like you do in the original games. And he turns around, the zombies just bust down the door. So that was like an Easter egg for all the old school Resident Evil fans who remember used to run away like a little bitch and try to hide from the zombies.
Yeah, and this gets me excited for the big villain. There's a villain over there looking like a big ass steroid freak, Freddy Krueger, you know, with that fucking cowboy hat and everything. And I'm like, well, dude, if this goes well and everyone loves this game, go get Nemesis, man. And Nemesis was known for breaking through walls and shit.
Oh man,
They did something similar in RE5. Like they have a guy not break walls, the exact same thing, but a few of the jump scares are when you're like, oh man, I'm safe. I go around this wall because he's in the other room in the corner, bust through, and is one of the ones that fucking scared the shit out of me. So
yeah. Or like that dude with the big ass hammer. I forgot his name, but dude, the Leatherface dude.
Pyramid Head, yeah.
You know, like he was scary. Remember Leon when he gets in that fucking little thatch house that we make on Ark? And
the first time the chainsaw guy is revealed in Resident Evil 4, he's fucking terrifying.
I literally want them to do like, I hope that they'll just keep going through. It's like, as much as I don't like, you know, I have my issues with remakes because I think like for the most part you can go back and play the originals, but if they do it with this much love, I'm okay with that. I kind of want to see RE4 again with this kind of visual fidelity because like you're doing so much of the.
RE4 is on everything, man. What the fuck?
It's not on the Switch. Yeah. Why is it on the Switch?
Give it a year of being on there soon. That motherfucker's not.
Better be. I'm pissed.
Oh, I'll be on there twice, gotcha.
It's on PC twice.
Oh, you're right.
You have
two PC versions.
You have the Uber Collection Edition, then you have the new collection for the new generation. You have the one for the DualShocks and the one for just the touchscreen.
I still have the one for the Wii.
One thing I gotta bring up though. I know I might change the subject really, really fast, but we gotta get out of here at some point. And
of course,
this is something I never get to bring up. I'm sorry, but Call of Duty, in a good sense, y'all, they are still giving you content for Black Ops 3. No more talking shit about Call of Duty not fucking supporting their games, god damn it. Amazing. Free content. Free, motherfucker. To give out Black Ops 3 for what?
What about the other 8 Call of Duties they forgot about?
Well, no, this Treyarch. They don't control all that.
What about Ghosts?
Well, that's their fault. And that's old as fuck. That's 2009.
What about Black Ops 2?
Why the fuck would you still play that?
What about Infinity War?
Okay. So I was just gonna ask.
I'm sorry, man, but like this is fine and all, and I'm glad they give it for free. But it's like, whatever, man. Like it was like 5 seconds, but it's just the fact that like, yeah, man, this is so great. You can't talk shit about Call of Duty not supporting. I'm like, what about the other Call of Duty games that they forgot about? What about World War II? Where they spent more time talking about Black Ops 3 than the game that's currently out right now.
Okay, well, you know what? Fuck y'all. I'm just saying. I was happy to
fucking support.
Yeah, fuck you motherfuckers.
I got no dog in this fight. I just loved how he just destroyed your argument with like a list of games.
Because I wasn't talking about that part, man. Shit. But,
okay, well, next time I will bring up facts.
So, anyways, Destiny 2 is fucking, doing something.
That's the best way to come up with Destiny's doing something.
Yeah, no, honestly, I like this because I do think that we're gonna get a nice, cool villain for Destiny 2. No character is actually anybody. There's no character in Destiny 2 that people can actually remember their names or remember them doing anything actually fucking cool. And I think that this guy looks villainous enough that this could be something that might actually kind of bring some life back into Destiny. I don't know. But that's happening. And I was actually kind of wondering, too, like if they came out with a discounted price of the Season Pass, the DLC they're coming out with, and the actual game, you're not in your head already. You guys would not buy this game, Destiny 2?
I literally got it for free from Humble Bundle. And after asking every person I knew if they wanted it or not, I stared at it going, what am I going to do with this fucking hunk of code? So I played it. That game is still trash.
Well, you can't play with somebody. I have the game. Maybe we can play together.
No.
When it comes to Destiny, I never had an appeal to it. It's just, I don't know. I just never really drew my attention. It was just one of those sci-fi games that I didn't know what was going on. If it was like going to be an MMORPG, or is it just one of those like real like hardcore multiplayer games that just throws you into death matches once in a while, and then the rest of you run around and just try and look for loot and shit. So Destiny was just one of those things that really just passed me by. I was really not interested in it.
One thing we did not pass by, though, at all. Well, I kind of passed by a little bit. I will say I wasn't that excited, but I was excited about somebody's reaction to this fucking call, because Alan, I think, shit his pants not once, but twice. Spider-Man!
Man, I like this game. Every time I see it, it sells me more. First time I saw it when he's just running through like the cafe or the office building, I'm like, I'm already sold. This looks fucking amazing. It's not made by Activision. Sony's publishing it. It's made by somebody else. Good, I'm sold. Second time they showed some of the fighting. I'm like, I'm already sold. Okay, cool. They keep selling it to me. Do you want me to buy 2 copies? You can't sell me anymore. Just let me play the fucking game.
No,
yeah,
I don't blame you, dude, because I really like Prototype 3 as well. Prototype Homecoming. This is fucking awesome.
Don't talk about Prototype 2. You don't know what it's like to be a Prototype fan. We supported that game and they still canceled the fucking company.
I love Prototype, but I'm telling you right now, dude, this game is basically Prototype, and not really as good.
Okay, wow. 2 things. One, being a Prototype, there's some stuff with the walking up walls and stuff like that, which they took off a Hulk game, so it's not like it was the first time it ever did it. Second of all, that's really the only thing. This game looks fucking incredible. The combat looks fucking amazing. They're not just doing the same thing with the Arkham games where they're like, let's have a ring of people and just wait for them to keep coming in. You see Spider-Man kind of jumping around, them bunching up in different areas and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's an incorrect statement, sir.
No, because they basically have the enemy.
Coming to Scorpion, couldn't Al.
Yeah, Scorpion coming in and showing Spider-Man's Spidey sense just sucks. But a lot of the enemies, they're having different clumping locations, so you have to be more fluid with the combat. The villains look like they're not just going to be typical punch. It seems like you have to actually have some physics to fight a lot of these villains off. The actual swinging mechanics in the other games used to be just hold R and you did your swinging trajectory with speed, and then you jump off and do some cool stuff. This time it seems like you have anchor points during that in the open world, which actually makes it. What the game implies is for you to master. What I say is for you to fuck up more, like, spectacularly, where you just are missing things because you're just not used to it. This game looks like, again, the new generation of Spider-Man, and I hope that finally people can get out their nostalgia asses. Spider-Man 2 is not the only good Spider-Man game. Play Web of Shadows and Ultimate Spider-Man. Those are fucking great games, and this is going to be added to that list of the best Spider-Man games.
You damn right.
Yes, I mean, and there's really nothing else I can say about that. I mean, the game looks fucking cool, but at the same time, I'm just not as hyped as you were about that.
I get to fight Scorpion, man. That man is never in any of these games except the old N64 version.
You got to fight Vulture again, man. The last time you fought Vulture was in Web of Shadows, my favorite Spider-Man game.
Well, you get to fight him on that whack ass.
It wasn't cool. Fuck you. And that game doesn't exist. Though something that did piss me off a little bit. They brought Shocker back. Do you remember Spider-Man 1? Where they had the Shocker level in the train?
Yeah, and it was actually.
I had PTSD, man. It brought me back. I was like, no, not again.
It's not Shocker. He's not. Is he Shocker or is he Electro?
Fuck, I don't know. They're the same character to me, man.
Maybe it's Shocker. But I will say one thing that shot the fuck out of me is that this little screensaver thing over here actually turned out to be a pretty cool little game.
Ghost of, I'm never gonna be able to pronounce his name properly. Shinumi, whatever. Ghost of whatever. This game looks like because I'm kind of sick of the whole like every game has to be hyper realistic to like real life. This to me, it's like let's just make it like the most artsy thing in the world. This feels like you're playing a painting. Like in some cases, the lighting, how it bounces up. I'm gonna sound like Julian, but how the lighting bounces through the trees, how it's bouncing out the characters and the ground, how the actual combat looks fucking good. It's not just swing your sword randomly. You have actual, physics when they're coming by you. You have cool dodges. This looks like a fucking great ass game. And it visually looks incredible.
Yeah, one thing I gotta bring up though is the fact that once again we're getting this now neat little cliche, and we're gonna talk about Last of Us 2 right after this. But this happens in Last of Us 2, where you always walk in on somebody doing some bad things to somebody else, and it happens in Spider-Man as well. It happens in a lot of games. And when I saw this, like, okay, for one, that fucking sucks. It fucking sucks that they're doing that yet again. But I'm looking at this, I'm like, okay, well, they're finally gonna announce Shenmue 3. That's gonna be awesome. Then I'm like,
but
wait.
Shenmue 3 wished it was this.
Yeah, but then I was like, okay, maybe it's Omniusha. Then I was like, at the very end of my little thought process of like guessing what this was, because the gameplay kept on and it got cool. I mean, they showed, I think it was gameplay, him and some girl fight, and it looked like it was like a 2D fighter.
I know. No, that was legit gameplay because you could see the sword slicing through and him actually like almost fucking up some of the stuff. But I love that shit. But to me, it's like the thing you're, I'll break down kind of what you said, like the thing about
I
what
wasn't finished yet, but let me just finish the thing. Is like when you get to this whole thing, I'm still thinking like, okay, like so what is this shit? Looks cool. Or the fuck? I'm like, oh my god, this might be Assassin's Creed. And then when you get to the very, very end, and this is a situation where it's kind of why I wish they would just announce what the game is before they start instead of making everything a big fucking surprise sometimes. Because you get to the very, very end, and it's so emotional, and it's just Ghost of Tsushima. And I'm like, yeah,
how did you not? I mean, maybe this is just me crazy. As soon as I saw the main character, I was like, oh, this is Ghost of Tsushima. Like they showed. I don't think they showed him like his face, but in last year when they announced it, they showed that character model jumping on a dude and doing like a version of assassination. So as soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. It's a PlayStation exclusive. It looks so radically different than anything else. As soon as you see it, like, yeah, that's Ghost of Tsushima because that's the one game we know nothing about. But the breakdown is like that whole thing of every press conference had basically like having a character walk up and saying bad guy things. That's a gameplay thing of a tutorial fight. You see that all the time where it's like, okay, but to teach you how combat works, where you're gonna walk up a bunch of people that are clearly being bad to show you what the bad guys look like. As far as it looking like a bunch of other games, it's the time period that you see that a lot of. But the whole feudal Japan, that's why it reminds you of to a certain degree Shenmue. That's why it reminds you of some of the other games we talked about. But what I love about this is the visuals are not just there just to look pretty, because we have enough pretty games. Last of Us look fucking beautiful. Assassin's Creed looks fucking great. But they chose an artistic, stylistic one to make it look like a painting, to make it look like it's a book, like someone actually painted this. I love that visual style because to me, I think that's one of the things to separate it because of how well it orchestrated. It's not just one level; the whole game is like this. It's like if Skyward Sword was just a much different painting. It feels like something similar to that, and I really am anticipating because it looks so different to the other sword fighting games that were even announced at the same press conference.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't know. What do you feel about this, Ganja?
Honestly, I'm hyped for it because I was a fan of the aesthetics. I really like the idea of feudal Japan, but that's the thing is, it's kind of one of those melee games, and I'm not really interested in those types of basic combat. This one has me a little bit more sick because it looks like it's going to be more fluid and based around the actual focus of the sword combat, which I was a fan of the Samurai series because they actually carry so much of making the sword combat stand out than just hack slash, triangle to do faster attacks, X button to do powerful attacks, that kind of like basic scenario movement movement on control scheme.
Yeah.
And I think this actually has a good chance of really attaching me. And one of the things I liked was the kind of artsy style and the way that Alan was describing Lion, because when they show the scene where they're fighting in the I forget what those trees are called, but I'm gonna call them Canadian maple leaves because fuck it. When they're firing the Canadian maple leaves, that just looks like a moving painting. The way that the graphics blend and how the feet move and the maple leaves move with the movement, you can tell there's a lot into making the physics work with the game and added more to the stuff you're seeing around it rather than just the combat skills, which could easily get tired out. So it's gonna give you that thing about what God of War likes to do is like, the combat might be a little bit simple to basic, but we're gonna give you so much eye candy with the combat that you're gonna want to keep going because you want to see how much more we're going to throw at you with these great scenarios and these great graphical achievements in combat.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I completely agree with that. And I mean, that's something, as far as art and how something looks, that's something where I got out of The Last of Us too. The one thing I will say, this is single-handedly made PlayStation win these whole press conferences, but at the same time, it single-handedly made the actual conference itself completely, unbelievably fucking stupid. For one, this whole thing. So you see in the background, there's lights and shit, right?
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah, so basically what they did is they got the entire audience and moved them to apparently some kind of church that they built up or whatever the fuck for this, just for this trailer.
They got a couple good jokes out of there. It's like, hey, this counts as your Sunday church service. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, the way the guy was doing it was so fucking forced. It's like, wow, he did all that work for that fucking thing and didn't even land. No one laughed, you dumb motherfucker.
I laughed.
Well, you're great. I love you.
You have no sense of humor, so.
So
it was fine, you fucking cynical bastard.
But the thing is, cynical bastard, you calling me? What the fuck? Like, fun police. But the thing is, looking at this too, and now I'm really being serious in this sense. Whether or not it was a guy or a girl, and people are like, "Oh man, I can't believe fucking lesbian thing." But it's like, dude, if it was a dude, it'd still not matter. I think that because it's lesbian stuff and it's gay stuff, it's the reason why it was so fucking long. But in no case ever should there be a video game trailer that had to see two people flirt and kiss for fucking 5 to 7 minutes long of a fucking trailer. That is insane.
That's insane. The thing. When I saw what was going on with that trailer, when then she's having the conversation with that random guy, At first I was like, wow, they're taking a while, but I'm like, wait, I'm actually enjoying the dialogue here. The dialogue's actually kind of fun. And then when the girl comes over and dances, I was like, oh, cool, this is fun because it's a story-driven game, and you have to have good story and good characters and actually good dialogue, and everyone has to sound on point, and they did. And then when she was kind of doing that thing, I'm like, okay, you're doing the typical kind of thing of the woman being afraid of that. But then the hard cut from them having a conversation to brutal violence is so jarring that it sold me. I was like, oh wow, that's holy shit, what's going on now? And then when you see the gameplay, I'm like, okay, this looks very similar to Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and they're doing some similar stuff, but they're doing some different stuff. They're focusing on the stealth a little bit. I'm like, is this just going to be a stealth game? And then it gets to fucking brutal murder to the extent where I literally was in my head going, you want to calm down a little bit? Like even I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then the hard cut back, and to the woman going, hey, oh yeah, they should be afraid of you. I'm like, yeah, they fucking should be afraid of you.
Yeah, which is great, and I think that was great storytelling. But I do say, and by the way, maybe I was exaggerating, because it ends right after this, so it was only 3 minutes and 30 seconds. But that's a long time for this, man, because I don't know who the girl is. They're building towards.
She's probably just her girlfriend there, because.
Well, no shit about that, but like I'm saying, like she's kissing her girlfriend, like it's like girlfriend who like. It's like if I hunt out and then I want you to have an opinion on, some random person that I knew. It's like, well, granted, you think they're cool because they're around me, but you don't know who the fuck they are. And it's like the video game tried to have me hang out with the girlfriend. The trailer was like, hey, see, she's cool and we're kissing, right? She's awesome. You like her, right? I'm like, who the fuck is she? Like,
well, okay, what I was trying to say before you cuss me out mid-sentence is I was trying to say is that character there wasn't for you to look at the character. Was it to describe Ellie? Because when we saw Ellie last time, we saw her growing up and kind of pissed off looking at the screen, but that's all we got to see. But what that character does, and it's kind of the writing device of have a character there that's talking to another character to describe them. So that way through the dialogue, like, oh, she's kind of shy, she doesn't know how to deal with people, she's uncomfortable in a room, and she's also a violent murderer. So when it comes back, you're like, oh, now we learned a lot about the new Ellie, because the main character, this isn't the same person from Last of Us. I mean, when you play the first one, it's like, I didn't beat the game or the DLC, so I don't know how much she changed near the end of the game. But as throughout the game, you see her growing as, like, at first she's just a child, but then it's like, hey, here's a gun, like a rifle, help me out and start getting right. So it's like she's used to combat, she's used to this stuff, and now we see a harder, grizzled person. But we still need to know what this person's like, outside of this brutal murder stuff. So I think that's why that character exists. That's what I was trying to get at.
No, and that's the thing. The reason I was interrupting is because that's obvious. Like I knew that. I let you say what you had to say. I mean, you don't want me to interrupt you again, but goddamn, that's obvious. These are all very, very like in the fucking face things.
You're asking who she was. That's who she is.
Yeah, you didn't get what I was talking about, really. It's cool. I mean, like I want to argue that this whole time. It's fucking long. But. The thing is like, I thought the trailer was pretty cool. I like, what they did here. You're saying that was way too intense or like, oh shit, you guys want to chill out? And I'm like, no, they had to do this because because it was so brutal, it made up for the fact that we had to sit there with the stupid fucking makeout scene. And I know they're building character. I know that they're making, trying to show you, back and forth of like, hey, she's fucking going through this crazy shit, but she has a love life too, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, it's like, when you do a trailer, I don't want to get the story. That's when you start spoiling shit. That's when you start really kind of doing things the wrong way. It's just like movies. Just sell me. Just make me buy the game. The whole purpose of the trailer is to make me buy it, right? I'm sorry, but I can watch the romance shit and the cutscene fucking compilation on YouTube when the game comes out and just watch like Allie play it or something. Like I don't need to buy it,
Right.
But like Ganja, I know you watch this fucking thing. There's no way you avoided this. At least
fuck no! I watched the shit out of it. I'm good. That's another reason I'm buying a PS4 in the coming weeks. Like, I really want to check this out. I like the combat. I think it's fluid. The brutality and the way that she does these finishers on these people is very reminiscent to some real life bullshit that you probably have to go through in these scenarios. And I like that. It's dark and it's gritty and it adds to the whole post-apocalyptic idea. And I think it contrasts perfectly with this sense of peace and this loveness that it goes with when you see her embracing her girlfriend. And it cuts to the peace that she's got for her. And to see what's like, is this before or after this? Are we seeing Ellie that gets a little chance of heaven and they just took it from her, and this is the results of her dealing with Joel and all that stuff, and then her dealing with her own personal trauma to turn into such a brutal killer here? Like, I'm really interested in what the storyline is going to be about. I also want to see the zombies and see if they're still around, what kind of fucked upness they're doing with those things.
Yeah, and that's a great thing, too. I'm glad I didn't see no zombies. I was like, you know what? I'm so happy we're just getting some bad motherfuckers or bad guys or whatever the case may be. And knowing that, yeah, the scariest thing in life, really, I mean, even if we lived a very supernatural life, humans are fucked up, man.
Yeah.
I mean, people are our worst enemy, you know, and I like when the games kind of like put that at the forefront where it's like it's horror that I can walk out of my house and feel myself if something happened even close to what happened in this game, if it happened in my life. So I love that shit.
Well, mostly when you go outside, you're feeling on yourself.
Exactly. Wait, what?
Don't listen to him.
But yeah, man. And then you know, I would bring up people with Death Stranding. Does anyone give a fuck about Death Stranding anymore?
What the fuck is it? Every time I see that game, I get more confused.
Yeah,
and I swear to God, what? This is world run on baby generators?
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, I feel like this is like a prank. Like you know when Penn and Teller did that fucking bus game for Super Nintendo? It's like,
yeah,
is someone doing that to us right now? Like with this fucking Norman Reedus game? Like just like, hey.
Alan was talking about it. For people that are watching the stream that don't know what Nick's talking about, Penn and Teller, they did this bus game that it was a real life bus simulator.
Desert bus.
That you had to drive all the way down to Vegas, and it was the most tedious and boring game. And it basically is all background of Vegas and desert. Basically, what we're seeing at Death Stranding here, where the guys walk around. I'm not going to call it. I call it walk simulator because that's what they presented in the gameplay. But I know there's going to be more to it. He wanted to do somewhat of a silent trailer from what Trey told us. But fuck that shit. This trailer is not explaining anything. Like I know you're not supposed to give us the whole plot, all the details, who the characters are, the finishing finale and shit like that in a trailer. But you're not even giving me basic story plot of what the fuck's going on. I don't even know who the main character is anymore. Thought it was Norman Reedus, but who the fuck is this guy that takes his toe off halfway through?
Yeah,
I think it's still Norman Reedus, but it's one of those things where every time I see this game gets more and more confusing. And I get the idea of a silent trailer. I'll say this: the bit of dialogue in this,
Walker.
Yeah, like it's so fucking weird because like when you see the dialogue, the only dialogue that happens in the like the voice acting is great. The story looks like there's a big world. I actually think the story for this game is gonna be amazing. I'd like to know what the fuck it is. What kind of game is it? Is it a shooter? Is it a fucking shitting game? Are you just walking around crouched? What's with the babies? Explain something to me. Anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's a horror. I mean, like I was scared at first. Now I can't stop laughing at these trailers. Like it's funny now.
Explain the babies to me.
Delivery in the apocalypse ruthless.
I agree. No, honestly that makes more sense. That makes so much sense. 100%. They're so busy trying to get tips that they use babies as fucking, collateral. I don't fucking know.
No, it's fucking ridiculous, man. And it's like, at this point, I don't give a fuck. Like now I cut it off. Next Death Stranding trailer can go fuck itself. I don't care anymore. But now we're getting into Nintendo, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch anything from Nintendo.
I watched it.
Okay, so what do you think we guys should bring up? Let's pick like 3 really big things. That we
I want to bring up the first thing that they showed. I want to bring up the first thing they showed. Demon Ex Machina. I think that's what it's called. It looked kind of interesting. It basically reminds me of Vanquish, but with mechs. I'm like, you know what? That looks kind of cool. That looks like something I'd play.
Yeah, I mean, it looks trippy as shit. I mean, I was thinking, like, man, did 90 send you that shit?
No, that first thing we saw, I'm like, wow, this kind of looks like Vanquish if the guys that make Killer 7 made it.
No, that's when I gave Alan my special vitamins. That's what he was seeing.
Yeah, exactly. And then, the thing that you were touching on before, and I actually found the actual gameplay to it because the trailer was whatever. The trailer was the fucking trailer. But I'm so glad we're back to fucking some sense of fucking reality or sensibility with going to the old school games. And I mean, look, you can actually see the Pokemon in the wild. That's something they should have done a long time ago.
Speaking of remakes done properly.
Oh yeah, so okay, what's this a remake of?
Oh, it's a remake of
Leaf Green, Red, Yellow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, if you're into that kind of stuff, it look cool. But for me, it's like Pokemon to me is just never really captured. Like, I don't think it sucks or anything. I'm not that crazy. Or say it's bad. I'm not that crazy either. It's just Pokemon never appealed to me. So when I looked at that, I'm like, that looks kind of pretty, but I just didn't think anything of it.
Yeah, man. So, but like this thing. Oh, this one I wanted to show. Yeah. So like this is the thing that's really cool. Is like, and now, Concha, can you see like the Metapods and then Kakunas and shit?
Metapauses, the periods. No,
oh, the Metapauses.
I can't see those, but I do see Charmander.
Yeah, okay, well, shit. But no, man, like, looking in there, I do like to get a Pokemon being inside the wild and knowing what
that's
capture.
That's actually great, and that was one of the aspects of the later games. I don't remember if you remember the Pokemon game where you were able to steal other people's Pokemon if they had a demon inside them. Oh, and no, you actually have the Pokemon. Some of the Pokemons will actually be able to follow you around, and that's been a mechanic that a lot of people have wanted from Pokemon for the longest, to actually have your Pokemon hang out with you like they used to do in the anime. So yeah. I'm not surprised that they're going to greater detail, and the fact that they're doing the old school Pokemons makes me actually interested in this. But fuck Nintendo, I'm not buying a Switch. I refuse to. Maybe my sister will get this, and I'm going to play it then when I visit home. But as far as me actually buying a Nintendo product for this, nah, son.
And then one thing too that's going a big deal here is the Super Mario Party. I didn't think people still gave a shit
that
about
looks kind of
this.
cool. It's one of those things where Super Mario Party, Mario Party in general, is a long-standing franchise. So there's always going to be people that want to play, the new mini games, the new stuff they're adding, and it seems like they're doing a lot of functionality with the Switch of like how you set it up in this cool board. I'm like, hey, to me, like Mario, I was going to say Monster Party. Mario Party is one of those things where it's like, yeah, I can imagine them always kind of doing at least one or two of these a generation, because there's always going to want to be those people that want to play the party games and not have friends by the end of the night. So when I looked at it, I'm like, okay, cool. This seems to have the same consistent quality. There's some cooler features in that. That looks fine.
And honestly, man, it looked pretty good for like this. Super Mario Party is one of those games that I have always had a fun time, even when I started doing my whole bandwagon of Hey Nintendo, because it's all so cutesy and it's all that animation, or it's never created new IPs or anything like that. Y'all know my hang-up, so if you don't believe me, check out the last 1,000 episodes of the Midnight Chat Attack. But like, Mario Party always thought was one of those ones that kind of always looked at my criticism was like, fuck you, we're gonna do some fun with this creation. And they do like the most outlandish stuff. They give them like weird games to play with each other, and they even bring the villains on, so it's not even hardcore like into the canon. It's like it's its own weird little thing that I really enjoy in it, because it doesn't wrap itself too much in the kiddie stuff, because I remember some of the mini games are kind of fucking brutal. And even the gameplay itself is like, it requires a lot of strategic thinking that you've got to be playing this like if you're like 13 older. Like, I'm pretty sure little kids can play it among themselves, but if like you're an adult playing this with a 5-year-old, you're gonna be an asshole and like get double stars.
No, we do play this. Like when you play this, you're out for blood.
Yeah, like this
legitimately
this is some real competition shit.
Yeah, man.
Like,
So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe at some point we can all play this like in a fucking awesome party or something, But
that'd be fucking fun to
when these motherfuckers bring in their Switches to an actual arcade, yeah, probably.
Yeah, you act like we didn't play games afterwards, you fucking asshole.
Bring an arcade and they bring their consoles.
Yeah, we played that one game and then we immediately went and played everything at the arcade. We're the assholes.
No, but like the thing is I'm kind of curious why they don't add this into that package too, the Mario Tennis Aces. I mean, granted, there's probably gonna be a lot more data in this.
Oh, I can't, man. Another Mario Tennis game. I honestly, as far as like, I've always said my issues, like, I'm not the biggest Mario fan. I think they're all right. The one thing I always will love, I'll always love the Mario Tennis games, because they're just so much fucking fun. The first Mario Tennis was fun. Mario Power Tennis is my favorite one. And I don't think they made one for the Wii or Wii U, or I can't remember if they did. I think they made one for the Wii, but I don't think they ever made another one. And then Mario Tennis I'm like, I love the Mario Tennis games. They're always so much fun. They're always so cool to play. And yeah, I want to play. Hopefully they bring back Boo, because that's my favorite character from there. And yeah, I'm happy that Mario Tennis is its own thing, because those games are fucking fun as hell.
Now, one thing I bring up too, and this is the last thing I'm going to bring up in a sense, but yeah, we're back to Smash Brothers shit.
Smash Bros!
This looks like every other fucking Smash
Yeah,
Brothers
whatever.
game.
Who fucking cares about what you think? So, Smash Bros! I love this fuck out of this, because it's like, when they kind of announced it, everyone's kind of thinking, hey, port or no port? And it seems like they're basically like getting to the point where they're like, okay, we know that there are a lot of aspects of Smash Bros. Games that don't necessarily change. So what we're gonna do, instead of having situations like, well, complaints like, well, why isn't this person here? Why isn't this person there? Their first thought was, let's get every single person that's ever been in a Smash Bros. Game in a Smash Bros. Game, because you almost can kind of like almost guess it halfway through when you're like, they got Pichu here? The fuck, they're skipping the bottom of the barrel for new characters until you get to the point where everyone's here like, oh, they're getting everyone here. So they're like, okay, we're gonna get every single fucking person that's ever been in a Smash Bros. Game. Ice Climbers, Pichu, Solid Snake's coming back, and we're gonna balance it around everyone else, which that's a fucking colossal task in itself. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in and we're gonna buff and nerf and change a lot of aspects of the gameplay. One thing that personally hit close to home for me was my favorite character, Samus, my main. They completely changed how her powers work. So now I was almost in my head like fucking calculating like, how am I gonna beat Cedric? Because I'm coming for Cedric. I'm gonna kick your ass next time when we play this fucking game.
I like how he challenges people that thoroughly kick his ass.
No, this time I know I can beat Cedric. I beat him in Austin. I know I can beat him.
It is funny. Like, I've heard more instances of Alan actually losing to people he challenges than winning.
Yeah,
you're right, but I know that.
Yeah, I'm surprised, but like you don't like Nintendo. I know you're not gonna say anything about it, but I got nothing to say about it either, because it's like, yeah, the same old fucking shit. Now I know that it looks good. I know that it's gonna be fun for the people that are actually into it and everything, but it's like, yo, when you put people like Metal Gear Solid in there or Solid Snake,
yeah,
it's goofy looking. Like, you kind of like, it makes everybody else look like shit too, because he's actually a fucking man and he's a grown man. But then you get Bayonetta in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get that 100%, but it's like, when you play it, it's like, for people that are like fans of, like, Tracy, he's a fan of Metal Gear, he's a fan of Smash, like, it's how well did they do Injustice, because they kept Ryu in here, and all that stuff. And people that play Street Fighter are like, yeah, he's better than he was in Street Fighter. And it's like Nintendo pays so much attention to it. So it's like he might look like, he might be starkly different in comparison to every other Smash character. Sure, he's supposed to be. He's playing a completely different game. But how well does he look in relative to his actual game? And I think, like, again, as a Metal Gear fan, he looks really good compared. Like, he almost looks as good as he does in his original games because they try to keep that same art style. And the fact that they're getting everyone in, no one's being left out. A lot of the gameplay changes they're doing is really, really good. It makes sense that they're calling this Ultimate. And I'm excited as fuck for this. And apparently it's coming out on my birthday, which threw me the fuck off. Like, when they announced it, I'm like, what the hell? This is going to be a fucking hell of a year.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you are gonna have a hell of a birthday month or whatever. Like, Spider-Man comes around that time too.
It's Spider-Man September, and then Tomb Raider September, and then December comes out. Like that fucking game, and I can't fucking wait. Like, I'm so happy for a new Smash because it's like
still no Star Citizen.
Okay, I got Smash, motherfucker, on my birthday.
But the main question I want to ask here, and now that we talked so much games, I don't want to talk about video games ever again. But because of this, I mean. Like, let's rate this in two different ways. Let's rate this on presentation at the press conference, and rate this in the sense of the games that are announced. Now, the games that are announced, I gotta tell you, dude, if you guys pay attention to our show right now, our whole show was basically just a Microsoft E3 press conference because everything else was not worth talking about. I mean, Microsoft owned this shit by a lot with those games. And we were talking on the Untitled Game Show last week, every Friday, 7:30 CST. But we were having a big discussion on, like, and we all agree that Xbox ain't shit. They never have anything. And god damn, did they just come back with a vengeance? I mean, buying 5 companies to do exclusives for them. Like, it's amazing. So for me personally, I'm gonna go around and ask you guys, but for me, yeah, Microsoft definitely owned E3 this year as far as the games. But Ganja, do you agree?
Not at all, because the thing, like, I kind of agree with Trey in this statement. Yeah, Microsoft may have showed out a lot of games first because it was the first conference to go up there, but there were no real exclusivities to it. Like, for example, like, a lot of those games that were like, I'm hyped for, I get on PS4. Like, there's no real reason for me to get an Xbox One for these specific games. So, like, honestly, for me, it was Sony that knocked it out of the park. They had a lot more exclusive titles. Yeah, I know the presentation was kind of cringe to certain way. They used the music and the light in a certain ways. They try to make it a more of a theatric, but I actually liked that. And I hope they do in the next one and have the guy that is actually having an idea to do those theatrics do a more of a better job and give them more of an epic sense, because that's, like I said earlier in the show, that's something I miss from E3. That was one of those things that actually gave a person a reason to go to E3 to experience these big moments that these game creators put on and actually have their IPs show off these different types of things in the aesthetics for that and actually get people hyped to buy these games. But besides that, like, I'm getting a PS4 at this point because a lot of the games that I really want were coming from the PS4. I'm not getting Nintendo for my hang up on it, but honestly, Nintendo hasn't really impressed me a lot because it's mostly the same IPs, and it's mostly for the hardcore Nintendo fans. And with Sony, they really brought it in terms of extra content. Bethesda kind of disappointed with 76 because I was hoping for maybe a single-player game, maybe something in the vein of Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas. But I'm also interested in more seeing how that would work. But I'm not going to go out my way to go purchase a console for Fallout 76. So when it comes to this, Sony won it for me.
Yeah. Now, how about you, Alan?
So when everyone fucking in the Hangouts and Ganja all the time, when they keep, pointing fingers at me, it's like, look at all these fucking leaks, look at all this bullshit, how can you still like E3? And I always respond with, I love the experience. It's because at the end of it, the games that are exclusive to platforms are important. They'll always be important. But to me, it's how well can you showcase to me what you got? And yes, most of all of everything that was at Microsoft press conference was multi-platform, and almost everything at Sony's press conference was exclusive. But I look at the showmanship, because to me at E3, showmanship matters. Showmanship matters almost as much as the games. So when I'm looking at Ubisoft and and that was just kind of, or look at Bethesda, and yeah, they had some cooler titles than in some of the other places, but the showmanship was so bad that I was cringing and screaming. I had to give it to Microsoft. I have to eat my fucking words. I said Microsoft was gonna have some bullshit and skip it. It had the best one, not because of the exclusives, but because of how the presentation was. Now, I didn't see Devolver, and everyone's saying Devolver won because they always do some crazy, like, fucking trippy acid trip, whatever. I didn't see it, so, and to me, because I just don't care about anything at Devolver. They're not my kind of games. But when I look at Sony's, like, Sony had better exclusive and better games, but their presentation was very dry. Bethesda had the worst one just because the showmanship was terrible. Ubisoft was just kind of eh. Nintendo was fine, but I love every single once it started going, I could not keep my eyes off Microsoft press conference. So to me, they had the best press conference because they had the best showmanship.
Okay, and then the game lineup, you think they were the best in that sense too?
No, they had the worst. They had the straight worst game line. Because what was it? Forza? Man, we didn't even talk about Forza. Dynamic weather changing.
Yeah,
anyway.
Exactly. But like for me personally, I do think that Sony had the best video game lineup. But as far as conference, I think Sony was terrible. I mean, there's parts where, I mean, at the beginning, that church thing was so fucking unnecessary. The music was unnecessary. What's up with that long-ass horn dude that's like...
Oh, you missed the banjo. Ding, 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 ding.
Sitting on my banjo, just sitting on my banjo, just sitting on my banjo. Like, that's what he basically was doing.
and the thing is, like, the song kind of like ended. I feel like they're probably in his ear telling him, no, keep playing. We don't got the videos ready. VLC is fucking up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck was happening with that shit, y'all? Like, I was really upset with Sony's conference, because when that shit started, I was like, I don't know if I'm watching Sony right now. I think
I can't say they had a best press conference, but they're not being mentioned that much. The PC Gamer Show had a good presentation.
Did it?
Yeah, the hosts are pretty good. Like, they're really good. It wasn't no cringy bullshit or someone trying to be snarky asshole, but the games are not worth mentioning.
Yeah. But yeah, like, that was a big one for me, and I know Allie hasn't been here this whole time. I mean, I don't blame you. Lots of video game shit, talking up a storm and everything. If you had to choose one, Allie, just by if you were listening to us, what would you say that was the best conference?
Sorry, I don't like to judge.
Wait, sorry is actually Spanish for Sony. So she meant Sony. No, I know what you mean though, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. For me, yeah, like I said, Sony I thought had the best lineup for video games, but one of the worst fucking press conferences. But then Microsoft, like what Alan said, it's all about the production, it's all about the presentation. Dude, every time I said like world premiere, I was like, dude, like I knew it wasn't gonna be nothing I really loved, but I was hyped as fuck, dude. I was just standing there like, oh my god, what's it gonna do? What's it gonna say? Like, and dude, like that's what makes E3 special, man. Like Ganja, exactly. This is what me and Alan talking about, where. Imagine having that feeling, man, when you're there with everybody and everyone around you screams when, world premiere, and then the fucking music comes on and the whole thing happens. I mean, there's a beauty to that, dude. That's a moment.
100%.
I love that stuff, man. Like, you know what I mean?
And it's a moment we all shared while we watched it on our computer screens as well.
Yeah, and it would have been nice to share, sitting in the audience. Gotcha, yeah. They'll go to concerts.
Yeah. Don't go to DT Party, people. Go on Google Hangouts and have a DT Party Austin Hangouts.
You got a good plan. Make sure to check out the DT After Hours.
Yeah, yeah. Go to mcrabbit.it. Whatever the fuck. No, but yeah, people. That's what we think about that. But we gotta get the fuck out of here. I had to pee bad. It's good ones last night, y'all. I urge all of you to go check out some history in the making, man. Go check out your boy Goodwin leaving. And he's gay. I don't know. I'm just talking shit. I got nothing else to say.
Well, he is definitely bi.
Oh yeah, that's true. Hey, I actually that was true for once when I said that. But you, Mr. Ganja Guru, gonna ask you to tell people what to do on them Fridays. When people are not watching the high score because that's not there anymore.
No, well, you don't actually perform before the high score, but if you want a day of content before Saturday, come check us out on the Untitled Video Game Show on Facebook, Midnight Chat Attack, Facebook to Peace per Sack at 7:30 CST time, where me and my co-host Birdman and my little co-host Penelope, as well as our bi-weekly co-host Trey Cooper, talk video games, discuss, argue, and sometimes have fun. So make sure to come check us out. Remember again that it's 7:30 CST time with Ramadan. We are a little bit late, maybe an hour and 30 minutes late, but that's because we're stuffing our face and we need nourishment in order to turn you guys. So next after this week, it will be over and we'll be free and we'll be back to that 7:30 sweet CST time.
Oh man, sweet ST. Get it? CST, sweet ST. No.
End the show.
Viewing party. I don't have shit ready. On Saturday, I'll let you guys know. It'll be cool. It'll be fun. I hopefully watch Jurassic fucking Park. I mean, the movie's only coming out in a couple weeks. You sons of bitches. Can you pick Jurassic Park?
World. We gotta watch Last World.
We have to watch Jurassic. No, we have to watch Jurassic Park 3. I'm not watching that unless it's in the viewing party. Yeah,
Alan.
If that movie's as trash as everyone says it is, that's not something you watch by yourself. That's something you watch with a group full of people that don't give a shit.
But with that said, folks, we'll see y'all Jurassic asses on Saturday. So with that said, Mr. Ganja Guru, on 3 and on 2 and on 1.
Fucking 3.
I'm sweating like a stuff.
This is a waste of time. Don't spend your money.